Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto pureblood wizard council bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by YamiNaruto and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Far away from the islands of Japan, a completely different island that the world had ever seen lay hidden. It was a beautiful turtle-shaped island filled with colors. A flat but rich plain with giant trees and rolling hills, ranging from small to large, with a mountain rising up as well. The most noticeable thing about the island was a spiral-shaped lake surrounded by a large thick forest. It was a very dangerous place, filled with various flora and fauna, often gigantic or poisonous or even more likely, both and various magical creatures. The island was the property of the Yuzumaki clan, one of the three noble clans of the Japanese magical world, also reputed to be the most powerful of the clans, producing wizards and witches that were exceptionally talented in the magical arts. The island had numerous charms and wards on and around it that made it impossible for a Muggle, non-magical, to locate it. Such people cannot see the island. Rather, they see a thick fog and an empty expanse of seawater. Heading to the eastern side of the Yuzumaki island, there stood a massive Japanese-style castle in a deep valley area, with surrounding mountains acting as the background, almost as if on a painting. It was a complex structure, built in a watchtower style that appeared to be 5 stories from the outside, but had in fact 6 levels inside. It was supported, like most magical homes, by magic. Most of the walls of the castle were painted a deep black. It was a strong structure, built to withstand warfare, yet at the same time was majestic and solemn. It had a fairly large lake to the south of the main building and beautiful sakura, cherry blossom, trees on both sides of the stone streets of the main entrance. The castle also possessed extensive grounds, flowerbs and other outbuildings, and a large training ground. The castle was the home of Kushina Yuzumaki, the head of the Yuzumaki clan and last member of the main Yuzumaki branch, and her husband Minato Namikaze. Kushina was a woman well known for her beauty. She had a slender, feminine build, fair skin, violet eyes and fiery red hair, a common trait among the members of the Yuzumaki clan, with strands that framed both sides of her face and a black clip that parts her hair to the left. As for Minato, he was a fairly tall, fair-skinned man. He had bright blue eyes and spiky blonde hair. He also had jaw-length bangs framing either side of his face. He was considered to be a very handsome man by many women. Minato's family was a pure-blooded and was originally from England. Both Kushina and Minato were considered to be among the most powerful witches and wizards in Japan. They were most famous for their unique original spells and powers. Sadly, they died as heroes, sacrificing their life to save Japan from the most powerful demon known to wizard kind. They died the same day their son was born, October 10th. Place. The library in the Yuzumaki castle. The library was located on the 4th floor of the Yuzumaki castle. It was enchanted to be bigger and larger on the inside than it appeared to be on the outside. It was incredibly big, a large room that goes up to at least 3 floors, with bridges connecting the opposite sides of each floor, and shelves upon shelves filled with various kinds of books and scrolls, and desks with lit torches for study. The library held a vast ancient collection of books and scrolls, gathered by the Yuzumaki clan, Minato and Kushina. Its collection contained not only a great amount of information on the magical world, but also on the Muggle world. It had separate sections on cooking, cleaning and many other simple things. The library had tens of thousands of books and scrolls on thousands of shelves. The books and scrolls had various spells on them to prevent them from being defaced or stolen. Books and scrolls were divided into 5 categories: D class, C class, B class, A class and S class. Each class had a higher level of books and scrolls than its lower class. The S class was the highest class, containing the most powerful and dangerous magic. It was separated from the main library by a large magical wall and only accessible to a person who had Yuzumaki lineage. It was late at night. 2 figures, one who was significantly shorter than other, entered in the library. The first was a light-skinned woman of average height with brown eyes and straight pale blonde hair. It was waist-length with shoulder-length bangs framing both sides of her face. She had a violet rhombus mark seemingly tattooed onto her forehead. Her name was Tsunade Senju, the last living member of the Senju clan, one of the 3 noble clans of the Japanese magical world, and was also a descendant of the Yuzumaki clan through her ancestor Mito Yuzumaki. Even though she was in her early 50s, she maintained the appearance of her younger self through a unique and constant charm. Tsunade was reputed to be one of the most powerful witches in magical history. She was famous for her immense physical strength and ability to perform any medical procedure flawlessly, to cure and heal illnesses and injuries that others would consider impossible or a lost cause. She was wearing a grass-green haori over a grey kimono-style blouse with no sleeves, held closed by a broad dark bluish-grey obi that matches her pants. Around her neck, she was wearing a beautiful green crystal necklace. It was a Senju heirloom, made from a special crystal gem, Kesmseki. It was once worn by her ancestor, Hashirama Senju. Standing next to her was her attendant and apprentice, Shizune, wearing a long bluish-black kimono with white trimmings, held closed by a wide obi. Shizune was a fair-skinned woman of average height and slender build with black eyes and hair. Her hair was straight and shoulder-length with bangs that covered her ears and framed her face. After entering the library, they saw the familiar face they were looking for. Sitting in his favorite spot in the library, he was reading a large black leather book, its cover faded with age. He was so engrossed in the book that he didn't even notice Tsunade's and Shizune's presence. They watched him reading the book in silence for a few moments. "Naruto," Tsunade called, trying to catch his attention. Naruto, or Naruto Yuzumaki, was the son of Kushina Yuzumaki and Minato Namikaze. He looked about to be an 11-year-old fair-skinned boy, wearing a green ninja-style shirt with black pants. Naruto bore a striking resemblance to his father, having Minato's blonde, spiky hair, but it had a slight red tint on it. From his mother, he inherited shape of her eyes and face. He had heterochromia, meaning two different colored eyes. His left eye was violet, while the other was blue. He had a small violet rhombus mark on his forehead similar to Tsunade's. "Yes, Grandma," he replied, looking up from his book seeing both his godmother and adoptive big sister. "Don't call me that brat," Tsunade shouted as she and Shizune walked in front of him. "Call me auntie or something, anything other than Grandma. You're too old for that, though. Stop calling me old." Shizune's sweat dropped at the behavior of her master and little brother. There is never a dull moment with those two, she thought. She did a fake cough to catch their attention. "Yes, Shizune." "Shizune Ni-chan. Are you done?" she asked. Both Tsunade and Naruto nodded dumbly. Walking toward Naruto, she sat down on his right side of a chair. She pointed at the leather book he was reading and asked, "Now, Naruto-kun, what are you reading?" "I'm just looking at my family tree from father's side of the family," Naruto said, opening the book that piqued Tsunade's interest. She sat down in front of him. "My father's family was originally from England. It was a pure-blood family like my mother's, and they were descended from Salazar Slytherin, who was one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry." He took a breath and continued, "If they were descended of one of the great wizards from Britain, then why did they move to Japan?" "I can answer your question," Tsunade said. She noticed both Shizune and Naruto looking at her with surprised expressions. "I asked your father the same thing. He told me that like any pure-blooded family, his family were supreme advocates of blood purity. They did everything they could to maintain that purity, even inbreeding, which often made them violent and unstable. Anyway, his parents, which means your grandparents, were the oddballs of the family. They never liked what their family was doing, so they decided to run away. They took money and magical knowledge with them and then came here, to Japan to start new life. Here, they adopted new names and identities for their safety." Shizune asked, "So Namikaze isn't Minato-sama's real surname?" "Yes." "Then what is my dad's real surname?" Naruto asked suddenly. "It's better if you don't know," Tsunade answered. "Damn it. I hate secrets," Naruto thought angrily, looking at the book. "But I've got my ways to find out about them." He turned his head toward Tsunade and said, "I want to go to the Hogwarts for my magical studies." "Why do you want to go to the Hogwarts for your schooling?" Tsunade asked, surprised. "Mahoudakoro Academy is the nearest magical school for us, where your parents went for their own magical studies, and it is in Japan." "Well, because I want to see the school that was founded by my ancestor." "Really?" Tsunade asked him, narrowing her eyes suspiciously. Naruto nodded. "I will talk to Saratobi sensei about it. But for now, go to bed." Naruto nodded as he closed the book and set it aside. He stood from his seat and left the library with Tsunade and Shizune following him. The book flew up in the air from its base on the table and went back to its original place in the shelf. 1 week later. Place. The Yuzumaki Dojo on Yuzumaki Island. The dojo was separate from the castle and was centered around a large hall for sparring or fighting. The floor was covered with thick mats. The walls were white with all sorts of weapons hanging on them and there were benches on one side. Presumably for anyone who wanted to watch the activity. Just like every day, Naruto was starting his morning practicing early in the dojo for daily training. A baken in his hand, he was practicing his swordsmanship. It was an elegant style and blazing fast, focusing on speed and centrifugal force to deal damage. Unlike other wizarding families in the world, his and some other families in Japan not only focused on magical practice but also on traditional fighting styles. Mainly the 3 noble families taught their children sword styles because some of their wandless spells needed a sword as a medium. Naruto moved swiftly through the moves and smoothly like water gliding off the leaves of a tree. With a wooden sword in his hand, he practiced tirelessly. One swing after another, one blow following another, but before he could complete yet another swing, he was interrupted. "Naruto-kun, it's time for breakfast," Shizune called out after she entered the dojo. "Okay, Ni-chan," Naruto said, "I'll be there in a minute." "Okay, but don't take too much time, because Tsunade-sama wants to talk with you," she sniffed the air, "and plus, you need another bath." A few minutes later. Place. In the Yuzumaki castle. Naruto was sitting in the dining room table with Tsunade and Shizune. Suddenly, there was a loud crack sound and a small grayish-brown creature with a big grin on its face appeared beside the breakfast table. "Master Naruto, forgive Yuki for her lateness," it said in a high feminine voice. Yuki was a female house elf. She had bat-like ears, a pencil-like nose and huge dark blue eyes. She was wearing a long white sundress, as long as she was tall, with a Yuzumaki clan symbol shown proudly on the back and front. When a family gives their house elf clothes, it usually means they don't want it anymore, that they are free, but Yuki wasn't like any normal house elf. Even though she was free, she was very loyal to the Yuzumaki clan and liked working for them just like most members of her family before her. She was also fiercely loyal to Naruto's mother, Kushina, who treated her with kindness. Kushina offered Yuki 10 golden ryo per week and every weekend free, but she refused Kushina's offer, opting instead for 1 golden ryo per week and 1 day off a month. "It's okay, Yuki-chan," Naruto replied. "Yuki is now happy, master," Yuki said, politely as she bowed to him. "Thank you." By snapping her fingers, Yuki summoned a huge breakfast on a table. After that she disappeared from there with another loud crack noise. "So what do you want to talk to me about?" Naruto asked Tsunade while eating his breakfast. His table manners were perfect. It wasn't surprising, mainly because he came from a noble family. Tsunade took a sip of tea and said, "Last week, I wrote a letter to Saratobi sensei about you. Today, he has given a reply on it." "So what did he say?" he asked. His voice almost cracked from excitement and nervousness. "He wants to meet you today." He heard Tsunade's reply and he breathed a sigh of relief. "We are going to the headquarters of the Japanese Ministry of Magic." Tsunade took another sip of tea. "We are going to Tokyo." Place. Tokyo City in Japan. Tokyo was the capital of Japan, the center of the Greater Tokyo area and the largest metropolitan area in the world. It was the center of the Japanese government for both Muggles and wizards and witches. It was an important city because it was where the headquarters of the Japanese Ministry of Magic was located. The new headquarters of the ministry was in the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building No. 1, also referred to as Tokyo City Hall or Tochme, in Shinjuku, Tokyo, on the 33½ floor of the building. 6 months before, it was shifted from Tokyo City Hall at Ikukichim to here. It was headed by the Minister for Magic. "So this is the new Tokyo City Hall," Naruto said. He was standing beside Tsunade, outside of the brand new building. It was 48 stories tall that split into 2 sections at the 33rd floor. "Impressive." Tsunade nodded. They went inside the building and walked up to the security guard in the lobby. 33½ floor, she said. The security guard looked up at her and immediately recognized the face of the famous witch. "Tsunade-sama," he said, hurriedly, standing on his feet. "What can I do for you?" 33½ floor, she said again. "Ah, yes, sorry," he apologized. He pulled out a silver coin from his pocket and handed it to her. Tsunade took the coin and instead of heading towards the elevator, she headed to the one empty room at the back of the lobby. "Where are we going?" Naruto asked because he had no clue what Tsunade was doing. "Just follow me," she said as they went in and she closed the door behind them. "Let me show you something." She took her brown-colored wand 11, cherry, unicorn hair from her pocket and placed its tip on door. "Dooki kudasai." The door slid open to reveal a semi-transparent girl in an elevator girl's uniform. She had a gray-silver-colored body. She was a ghost and was standing in the elevator. "Welcome," Ghost Girl greeted as both Tsunade and Naruto entered the elevator. Tsunade gave Ghost Girl the silver coin and said, 33½ floor. Girl nodded, taking the silver coin from Tsunade's hand. She pressed the 3, 3, 1 and 5 buttons of the elevator panel. The doors of the elevator closed and it went up. About 15 seconds later, a ding sound was heard as the elevator stopped and the doors opened. "Past," Naruto said as he and Tsunade stepped out of the elevator. "It's the new magical elevator developed by Yuzumaki Enterprises, your company. It is connected to every magical department in Tokyo," Tsunade said, piquing Naruto's interest. "For the last 2 years, our magical research department has been working on a project to make a more effective and controlled traveling system than the Flu network. These elevators are just a prototype. It was launched last year in Tokyo for a demonstration. Our department is working on its more advanced and commercial version now, and it will take more than 5 years." Naruto said, "It's an interesting project and I didn't know that Yuzumaki Enterprises had a magical research department. Who is the project head?" "Isuke Urahara," Tsunade answered, looking at Naruto. You need to know more about the company, Naruto. You are the heir of the Yuzumaki clan and owner of Yuzumaki Enterprises. One day you're going to take over the company. He nodded. Now, let's go. Saratobi sensei must be waiting for us. The Japanese Ministry of Magic headquarters was comprised of a very large 15-story building housing several offices, departments and courtrooms. The magically enhanced elevators they can move both horizontally and vertically were provided to access every level, except level 11 and onward, the Wizards' Council and courtroom on level 12, which was only accessible via a set of stairs from level 11. After that level 13, 14 and 15 were confidential. It was only accessible for wizards and witches with special permission. Naruto asked, "Where is Gramps' office?" "It's on the 11th floor." A few minutes later. Both Naruto and Tsunade stepped out on the 11th floor. They saw a corridor that led them towards the golden door which was guarded by two wizards. They were dressed in white shirts, black pants and black capes, wide-brimmed hats, black hooded cloaks and black gloves. Guards saw Tsunade as they recognized her. "Welcome Tsunade-sama," one guard said. He and his partner placed their respective wands on the door. "Hi Tsukatin." They said at the same time as the golden door turned silver. "You may go inside," other guards said politely, opening the door for both of them. When they entered, they were greeted by the sight of a large room that was filled with fully grown cherry blossom trees and a ceiling which looked like the sky. There was a stone pathway leading towards somewhere with cherry blossom trees on its both side. "Let's go," Tsunade said. The wind blew blossoms from the tree branches and each one passed them by. Naruto smiled at the sight of the flowers. Such beautiful flowers, he thought as he let one fall into his palm and gazed at the beauty of the flower. He released the blossom and continued until he saw what appeared to be a large wooden door. Tsunade opened the door and they entered Saratobi's office with Naruto shutting the door behind them. There was a huge wooden desk in the center that drew the attention of anyone entering the room. Sitting behind the desk, on an office chair, was an old man who was looking at some files with a pipe in his mouth. He was a light-skinned man of below average stature. He had pronounced cheekbones, a long and thick goatee, a prominent crease across his forehead, gray hair, a few wrinkles, a wart near his left nostril, and a few liver spots. He was Hiruzen Saratobi, the Japanese minister for magic. Before he became minister, he was the headmaster of the Mahadakoro School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and teacher of Tsunade. He was wearing a haori, along with a red full-length kimono that was tied using a white sash. "Yo, Gramps," Naruto greeted Saratobi. Hiruzen smiled. Standing from his seat, he went toward Naruto to give him a hug. "Naruto, long time no see you. How are you?" "I'm fine." "Saratobi sensei, you look like shit," Tsunade said as she looked over the huge pile of paperwork on his desk. "I know." He sighed. "Do you want my job?" "Hell no." Tsunade shouted. "Well, I tried," he said, walking in and taking his seat behind his desk. Both Tsunade and Naruto took seats on chairs opposite him. "Now, let's talk about you, shall we, Naruto?" "What is it, Gramps?" "I wrote letters to both the British Ministry of Magic and the headmaster of Hogwarts," Saratobi said. "They replied back they would be happy to have you in the Hogwarts for your magical studies." "Well, why they wouldn't be happy about it? After all, he is the heir of the Yuzumaki Enterprises, which controls the majority of trading business in the wizarding world," Tsunade said, suddenly. "Yes, you could say that," Saratobi said before turning toward Naruto. "Anyway, Naruto, I would like to introduce you to someone." "Who?" Naruto asked. "He'll be here soon," Saratobi said. Suddenly, there was a knock on my door. "Looks like he's here now." He made hand motion as the door of office opened. The person entered the room. He was tall and thin, with silver hair and a beard so long that it could be tucked into his belt. He had a very long and crooked nose. He was an old man, wearing half-moon spectacles and a bright red robe. "Welcome to Japan, my old friend, Albus," Saratobi said as he stood up from his chair and greeted his friend by shaking his hand. "Thank you, Hiruzen," Albus said in a perfect Japanese. He took seat beside Naruto. "Albus, this is my student, Tsunade Senju," Saratobi said, pointing at Tsunade. "I know who she is," Albus said, "she is pretty much famous not only in Japan, but also in England." "Yes, she is," Saratobi said, smiling. He was proud of his student. Then he pointed at Naruto. "And this young man is Naruto Uzumaki." "So you're Naruto?" "Yes," Naruto said. "And you are Professor Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore, Order of Merlin, First Class, Grand Sorcerer, formerly the Transfiguration Professor, and then later and currently, the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry." You are well informed," Dumbledore said as he was impressed by the blonde boy's knowledge. "Because I like reading, Gramps." Tsunade slapped Naruto upside the head. "Ouch. Hey, what was that for?" "Brat, be respectful," Tsunade scolded. "He is one of the greatest and most respected wizards in the wizarding world." "Whatever." Dumbledore smiled at their behavior. Naruto, I don't have any problem with you calling me Gramps. Just, don't call me it in public or in front of my students, okay? Naruto nodded, smiling. Thanks Gramps. Dumbledore smiled again and said, you have Kushina's mouth and Minato's brains. Did you know my parents? Yes, they were great wizards and my friends, Dumbledore said. Sadly, they died too early. Your father had potential to surpass the greatest wizards of all time. There was a few moments of silence before he asked, anyway, can you read English? Naruto nodded. I can speak, read and write English perfectly, he said in English. From his pocket, Dumbledore took a cream-white envelope with a very official-looking seal on it and gave it to Naruto. Naruto took envelope and opened it. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Headmaster. Albus Dumbledore. Order of Merlin, First Class, Grand Sork. CHF. Warlock, Supreme Mugwump, International Conft. Of Wizards. Dear Mr. Yuzumaki. We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Please find enclosed a list of all necessary books and equipment. Term begins on 1 September. We await your replay by no later than 31 July. Yours sincerely. Minerva McGonagall. Deputy Headmistress. Then he took the second paper out of the envelope. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Uniform. First-year students will require 1. 3 sets of plain work robes, black. 2. 1 plain pointed hat, black, for day wear. 3. 1 pair of protective gloves, dragon hide or similar. 4. 1 winter cloak, black, with silver fastenings. Please note that all pupils' clothes should carry name tags. Course books. All students should have a copy of each of the following. The Standard Book of Spells, Grade 1. By Miranda Goshik. The History of Magic. By Bathilda Bagshot. Magical Theory. By Adalbert Waffling. The Beginner's Guide to Transfiguration. By Emeric Switch. 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi. By Felita Spore. Magical Drafts and Potions. By Arsenius Jigger. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. By Newt Scamander. The Dark Forces. A Guide to Self-Protection. By Quentin Trimble. Other equipment. 1 wand. 1 cauldron, pewter, standard size 2. 1 set glass or crystal files. 1 telescope. 1 set brass scales. Students may also bring, if they desire, an owl or a cat or a toad. Parents are reminded that first years are not allowed their own broomstick. Yours sincerely. Lucinda Thumsonical Pocus. Chief Attendant of Witchcraft Provisions. I accept, Naruto said, looking at Dumbledore. Also, can I bring other animals in place of those 3 at the Hogwarts? Yes, you can bring other animals at Hogwarts. As long as it is not disruptive, dangerous or disgusting, Dumbledore said. However, you need approval from your head of house for anything out of the ordinary animals. So Karasu-chan can come with me, Naruto mumbled himself, but Dumbledore heard him. Karasu-chan. She is my guardian angel, Naruto said, smiling, as shadows beneath his feet twisted and curled before it expanded, then took shape into a large 5 feet tall raven. The raven gave a loud cry before shrinking down to a smaller size and perched on Naruto's left shoulder. The raven was bigger than a normal forest raven of any kind that Dumbledore recognized. She had dark black feathers that had a very lustrous sheen and noble appearance, an incredible wingspan, and the feathers on her wings were notably big and straight, the same could be said for her erect and sharp tail feathers. She also had a J-like crest on her head, giving her a proud and regal appearance. Her whole body was covered in purple-colored runes. She had blood-red eyes glowing in the darkness. However, despite all that, the most noticeable thing about her was her legs. Instead of the normal 2, she had 3, with each being a deep purple color with sharp black talons. She also had a long and sharp purple beak. On her left leg, she had a silvery black metallic leg band that was engraved with the Yuzumaki clan spiral, showing her loyalty to the clan. Gramps, meet Karasu-chan, he said, happily, introducing her to Dumbledore. Is she Yatagarasu? Dumbledore asked, seeing a 3-legged raven. Yes, have you seen a Yatagarasu before? Dumbledore shook his head. This is the first time I personally have seen a Yatagarasu. I have heard about them before but have never had a chance to see them. They are powerful magical creatures. They are even rarer than the ever-elusive phoenix, he said. They are secretive, and in the magical world, there is not much information on them. Because most of us prefer the spirit world to the human world, an ethereal feminine voice said soothingly inside his head. You can talk telepathically? Dumbledore wondered. But how did you even get past my mental barriers? I'm an occlumens. It's not easy to access my mind. We are natural telepaths so it doesn't really matter to us. Dumbledore nodded and asked, so your species live in the spirit world? Yes, Karasu. She flapped her wings and flew into the air with a long black-colored ghostly tail following her. That explains it. Why we have so little information about them, Dumbledore thought, watching Karasu disappear into Naruto's shadow. He turned his head toward Naruto. Where did you get her? She has been with Naruto from his birth. She is very protective over him and is extremely loyal to him. Tsunade answered his question. She is also highly intelligent and powerful. She has complete control over shadows and much more. You've really got a fantastic animal companion, Dumbledore said, looking at Naruto. Thank you, Naruto said, smiling slightly. Anyway, Naruto, the school term will start on 1 September, so I'll send someone to pick you up. Naruto nodded. Naruto, time to go now, Tsunade said. Naruto looked at her questioningly. I think sensei wants to talk with Dumbledore-san alone. Naruto gave a nod. Goodbye Gramps, other Gramps, he said. He and Tsunade left Saratobi's office. What do you want to talk about, old friend? Dumbledore asked Saratobi. Taking a deep breath, Saratobi looked at Dumbledore. Take care of Naruto. He is special. He is not only the heir of Yuzumaki clan, but also the son of Minato and Kushina, he said. They have many enemies who will do anything to harm Naruto for revenge. I will do my best, Hiruzen. Around 2 months later. Place. Naruto's bedroom in the Yuzumaki castle. It was a large, elaborate room. The huge fluffy bed was perfectly made, the light from a chandelier hanging above, completely showing the pale blue wallpaper and multiple portraits on the wall. A large bookshelf full of books on spells stood against one side wall. A wooden sliding door leading out to a balcony was visible on the other end of the room. The day was August 30th. Naruto was packing his trunks for his year at Hogwarts. Naruto-kun, is this enough for you? Shizune said as she was standing in front pile of clothes. Yes, Shizune-ni-chan. This is enough, Naruto said. Shizune took her bluish-black wand 11, cedar, hippogriff feather out from her pocket. With a quick flick of her wand, she packed all his cloths in a large silver black trunk that had the Yuzumaki clan symbol on it. Anything else? Yes, extra shoes. They are here, Master Naruto, Yuki said after she appeared in the room with a loud crack, holding Naruto's extra shoes in her hands. Place them inside the trunk, Yuki-chan, Naruto said. Yuki nodded her head and placed his shoes inside of the trunk. You forgot these, Tsunade said as she entered the room. She was holding her pet pig Tauntaun in her hand, while many books and single wooden sword were floating in the air behind her. Boink, Tauntaun whined, trying to catch Naruto's attention. Hello, Tauntaun, Naruto greeted her. Tauntaun was a light pinkish color, much like any other pig. Her cheeks were blush in a darker shade of the same pink as her skin. She was wearing a pearl collar and a dark red jacket. Naruto, Tsunade said, catching Naruto's attention. These are some advanced medical books and your practice sword. You need them if you don't want to slack off in your medical and sword study. Motioning her hand, she placed books and wooden sword inside of the trunk. Also close your eyes, Naruto, I've got something for you. Okay, Naruto said confusedly, but closed his eyes nonetheless. Tsunade bent to one knee and put beautiful green crystal necklace around Naruto's neck. It was made from a special magical crystal gem with an unknown magical property. Now, open your eyes. Naruto's eyes winded when he saw Senju heirloom. This is. I know, this necklace is my heirloom, but I want to give it to you. It's your gift. It looks good on you, she said, smiling. This necklace holds one powerful magic. Nobody knows about it. Many tried to find about it, but they all failed. Maybe you would succeed where they all failed. Thank you, Granny, he said and hugged her tight. You're welcome, brat. A small coughing sound caught their attention. Naruto-kun, this is for you, Shizune said as she gave him a small brown package. Naruto opened the package. It was large black-gray hooded varsity jacket with red interior linings. The jacket had multiple visible and hidden pockets and the Yuzumaki clan's red-colored spiral on its left side. Thank you, Shizune-ni-chan, he said, but I don't think it will fit me. It is magically enhanced to fit to any size person perfectly, Shizune explained. Naruto took the coat and put it on himself. It shrunk down to Naruto's size. Do you like it? Yes, it's comfortable and soft. Now, pull the hood on your head. After pulling the hood over his head, Naruto vanished in front of them. Whoa. It's a custom-made jacket just for you. By pulling its hood over your head, it will make you invisible. Tsunade said as she placed her hand on Naruto's invisible head. It's an interesting item. Even though it's only covering Naruto's upper body. It still has managed to make Naruto's whole body invisible. Naruto pulled the hood down and became visible again. Thanks Ni-chan, it'll be really useful, he said as he took the jacket off and put it in his trunk. Yuki also has something for her master, Yuki said. What is it? Naruto asked, looking at his female house elf. This, Yuki said. From nowhere she summoned a twisted-looking bag and gave it to Naruto. What is this? Naruto asked, taking a bag from Yuki's hand. He started to examine the bag. It was a grayish-green and brown-colored twisted-looking bag. It looked like it was designed after the head of a monster. The zipper was designed to look like its mouth. Like Charmcaster's bag from Ben 10. It's been a long time since I've seen this bag, Tsunade said when she saw the bag. Shizune nodded her head in agreement. Have you seen this bag before? Naruto said. Yes, Tsunade said. It's your mother's magical charm bag. Yes, it's Mistress Kushina's bag. She had given it to Yuki, so Yuki can give it to Master Naruto for his first day of school, Yuki said. Naruto, this bag is special. It's connected to a personal pocket dimension. It means it can store an unlimited amount of any sized items, Tsunade said. However, only in Yuzumaki can put an item in the bag or pull out an item from the bag. And it is also sentient, Shizune added. What? Naruto asked in confusion. Suddenly, the bag in his hand opened its mouth like zipper, showing its pointed teeth which were practically harmless because they were made from the same material as the bag and started to bounce up and down in his hand. It recognizes you as its master, Tsunade informed him. The bag jumped from his hands and wrapped its belt around Naruto's waist. The bag was now hanging on the right side of his waist. Thank you for the gift, Yuki-chan, Naruto said. He removed the bag from his waist. Then he lifted the bag up and set it in front of him. He placed an index finger on the bag, incanting sleep and placed a sleeping spell on the bag. The bag then became normal. He put the bag inside the trunk. Did you pack everything? Shizune asked last time. Naruto nodded. She pointed her wand at the trunk. Reducio and the trunk shrunk down to a small size. She took the small trunk and put it in her purse. Let's go. We are going to be late if we don't leave soon. Are you also coming with me? Naruto asked confusedly. Yes, she is coming with you to make sure you reach the Hogwarts Express safely, Tsunade said. And take this key. As she gave him a gold key. I've transferred a small amount of money to the Gringotts Wizarding Bank. You will require this key to open the Vault 721. Naruto took the gold key from her and put it in his pocket. Time to go, Naruto, Shizune said. She placed her hand on Naruto's shoulder. They disappeared to the location the portkey was set to. Place. London. It was August 31st. Our favorite heterochromatic wizard boy, Naruto, was standing on the balcony of his hotel, looking at the nice view of London City. He was dressed in black pants and a purple t-shirt. After arriving in London by portkey, he and Shizune were staying in the Merchant Inn, one of the finest hotels in London, which was rarely ever visited by middle-class wizards and witches, and was also never really spoken of unless you were an upper-class wizard. The hotel room was pretty big. It had 2 bedrooms and a large living room. The rooms were luxurious and fashionably furnished. Large paintings on the walls, curios on the sideboard, vases of flowers, expensive furniture and a large fireplace. The place itself was very beautiful. Naruto-kun. It was Shizune. She was sitting at the dining table and waiting for Naruto. Naruto entered the room and went into the dining area. There Shizune sat, sipping tea. He sat down in front of her. Tea, Naruto-kun? Shizune asked. Naruto nodded as the kettle magically lifted into the air and poured some hot tea into one of the cups. He dropped 2 sugar cubes into the tea and stirred. Then he lifted the cup to his lips and sipped the hot tea with a sigh of pleasure. As they were enjoying the tea and some slices of cake, they heard a knock at the door. Shizune pulled out her wand and with a wave of her wand, she opened the door. You may enter, she called. A man, who was dressed in flowing black robes, entered through the now open door. He was thin, with sallow skin, a large hooked nose and yellow, uneven teeth. He had shoulder-length greasy black hair which framed his face in curtains, along with curling lips and dark penetrating eyes. He saw Shizune and Naruto sitting at the dining table. He walked towards them, distaste in his eyes. Did Dumbledore-sama send you here? Shizune asked, standing up and pushing her chair back into the table. Yes, he has sent me here to show Naruto Yuzumaki Diagon Alley and tell him more about Hogwarts School, he said, showing slight displeasure in his voice as he didn't want to waste his time on them. Judging from his tone and voice, he didn't even want to come here, Naruto thought. I'm Naruto Yuzumaki, he introduced himself to the man. The man just looked at him for a few seconds and said, my name is Severus Snape. I am the potions master and head of Slytherin House at Hogwarts. Nice to meet you, Snape-san, Shizune said and gave a slight bow in welcome to him. I am Shizune, attendant and apprentice of Tsunade Senju. Tsunade Senju, Snape said curiously that looked very foreign on his face. Is she really as strong as witches and wizards say about her? Yes, she has immense raw strength, with which she can create fissures with a single finger jab at the ground. Snape thought something for a few seconds before he looked at Naruto's hand. Let me show you how to get into Diagon Alley, he said, but we need to go to the lobby. The whole hotel is secured by anti-apparition wards, and the lobby is the only place where we can apparate in or out of the building. Both Shizune and Naruto nodded and they started to walk toward the lobby. Place. Leaky Cauldron, London. Snape, Naruto and Shizune apparated in a tiny, grubby-looking pub. Snape stared at Naruto as though he was expecting something from him. "It isn't your first time apparating, is it?" he asked when he saw Naruto look perfectly fine. "What do you mean?" Naruto asked confusedly. "Most people vomit the first time they successfully apparate." "Aha, yes. So where are we?" Shizune asked as she interrupted their conversation. The place was very dark and shabby. A few old men and women were sitting in a corner, drinking tiny glasses of sherry. A large man was talking to the old bartender, who was quite bald and looked like a toothless walnut. The low buzz of chatter stopped when they apparated in. Everyone seemed to know Snape. Some of them even became nervous once spotting him. "It is the Leaky Cauldron, a popular wizarding pub in London. It is the entrance to Diagon Alley," Snape explained, ignoring the tension around them. Naruto noticed that many of the people outside of the pub were hurrying by and didn't even glance at it. Their eyes slid from the big bookshop on one side to the record shop on the other, as if they couldn't see the Leaky Cauldron at all. "So muggles can't see the pub," he thought silently to himself. Snape led them through the bar and out into a small, walled courtyard where there was nothing but a trash can and a few weeds. "This wall is the entrance of Diagon Alley," he explained, gesturing to the brick wall above the trash can. He pulled his wand out of his sleeve and tapped the bricks in the wall 5 times, 3 up and 2 across in an anti-clockwise order, and quickly placed it back in his sleeve. The bricks his wand had touched quivered. It wriggled in the middle. It started moving out of the way. Seconds later they were facing an archway large enough for them, onto a cobbled street that twisted and turned out of sight. They stepped through the archway. Naruto looked quickly over his shoulder and saw the archway shrink instantly back into solid wall. The alley was an assortment of restaurants, shops, and other sites. Some even had tables out front with colored umbrellas. It was packed with witches and wizards. "Nice place," Shizune said, looking around the alley. She turned towards Snape. "Snape-san, where is the Gringotts Wizarding Bank? We want to withdraw some money." "Follow me," he said as he turned and walked off. They were walking down a busy street when Naruto saw a shop called Broomstick. Several boys around his age had their noses pressed against a window with broomsticks in it. Naruto looked at Snape. Trying to start a civil conversation, he asked, "Professor Snape, you are the potions professor in the Hogwarts, right?" Snape glanced at Naruto then looked forward. "Yes." Naruto nodded, figuring that Snape wasn't a person for conversation. "What is the first-year potions curriculum?" he asked. Snape looked down at Naruto. "We teach first-year students the Cure for Boils potion and the Forgetfulness potion." "And?" Naruto said as he expected more. Snape raised his brow slightly. "Aconite, bezoars, and some basic details on preparation of the Draught of Living Death, collecting the ingredients for Wiggenweld potion, and the 12 uses of dragon blood," he added after that. "No more healing potions or any advanced potions?" Naruto asked. Snape shook his head. "That sucks." "Naruto!" Shizune shouted as she slapped him upside down on the head. "Ouch. Sorry, Shizune-chan," Naruto said while rubbing his head. Ignoring them like nothing happened. Snape asked Naruto, "Why do you want to learn advanced potions?" "I want to become the best healer ever, and potion is one of the requirements to become a healer," Naruto answered. Snape stared at him for a few seconds, turning to walk away. A few minutes later, they had reached a snowy white building that towered over the other little shops. Standing on either side of its burnished bronze doors, wearing a uniform of scarlet and gold, were 2 goblins. "This is Gringotts Wizarding Bank," Snape said. Then he looked at Naruto and Shizune. "I've got to go somewhere. I'll meet you 2 later. You can find all of the items on the Hogwarts supply list in Diagon Alley." "It's okay, Snape-san," Shizune said. "Thank you." Snape then turned away and disappeared with a pop. Both Shizune and Naruto they walked up the white stone steps toward the goblin. He was about a head shorter than Naruto. He had a swarthy clever face, a pointed beard and very long fingers and feet. He bowed as they walked inside. Now they were facing a second pair of doors, silver this time, with words engraved upon them. "Enter, stranger, but take heed. Of what awaits the sin of greed. For those who take, but do not earn, must pay most dearly in their turn. So if you seek beneath our floors the treasure that was never yours, thief, you have been warned, beware of finding more than treasure there." The pair of goblins bowed them through the silver doors and they were in a vast marble hall. About 100 more goblins were sitting on high stools behind a long counter, scribbling in large ledgers, weighing coins in brass scales, examining precious stones through eyeglasses. There were too many doors to count leading off the hall, and yet more goblins were showing people in and out of these. Shizune and Naruto made for the counter. "Hello," she said to a free goblin. "We've come here to take some money out from Mr. Yuzumaki's vault, number 721. Do you have his key?" Yes, Naruto said, holding up a golden key. The goblin looked at key closely. That seems to be in order, he said. I will have someone take you down to vault. Mboxes. Mboxes was another goblin. Shizune and Naruto followed Mboxes toward one of the doors leading out of the hall. Mboxes held the door open for them, showing a narrow stone passageway lit with flaming torches. It sloped steeply downward and there were little railway tracks on the floor. Mboxes whistled and a small cart came hurtling up the tracks toward them. They climbed in and were off. At first they just hurtled through a maze of twisting passages. The rattling cart seemed to know its own way because Mboxes wasn't steering it. Then they plunged deeper, passing an underground lake where huge stalactites and stalagmites grew from the ceiling and floor. The air became colder and colder as they hurtled round the tight corners. They went rattling over an underground ravine. The cart stopped beside a small door in the passage wall. Vault 721 had no keyhole. They got out and stood front of the door. Stand back, Mboxes ordered. He stroked the door gently with one of his long fingers as the door melted away, showing another door inside with a keyhole. Using the key he unlocked the door. A lot of green smoke came billowing out. Inside were many large mounds of gold galleons, many columns of silver sickles, and heaps of little bronze nuts. Is it a sum of money? Naruto asked Shizune. The vault was filled with a large fortune. It would most likely put any high-class wizard family's vault shame. Shizune shook her head as she helped Naruto pile some of it into a small bag. They took some money, around 200 gold galleons, 600 silver sickles and 1200 bronze nuts from his vault. Let's go, she said. Another hell ride later, they were standing outside of Gringotts. Now what? Naruto asked. Maybe we should first buy your uniform. Shizune said, nodding toward Madame Malkin's robes for all occasions. They entered Madame Malkin's shop. They saw women, Naruto assumed she was Madame Malkin, fixing a uniform for another customer. The boy around Naruto's age was standing on a footstool, looking goof with flying tape measures all around him. He had round-faced with a short chubby build and brown hair. There was an old lady right behind him, wearing a hat with a stuffed vulture on it. She had a bright red handbag in her hand. Both Shizune and Naruto went near them. Excuse me, Shizune said to Madame Malkin. Madame Malkin was a squat, smiling witch dressed all in mauve. She looked at Shizune and then looked at Naruto. Hogwarts, dear. She said. Got a lot here, another young man being fitted up just now. She pointed at the chubby boy. Shizune nodded dumbly. Her English is weird, she thought. You're not from around here, are you? The old lady next to her asked. No, Shizune answered, I'm from Japan. I thought so, the old lady said. I'm Augusta Longbottom and this boy, she pointed at the brown-haired boy, is my grandson Neville Longbottom. My name is Shizune. Hi, I'm Naruto, Naruto introduced to Neville, sticking out his hand towards him. He was standing on a stool next to him. The boy reached out his hand and stepped forward but tripped over the stool. Naruto caught him so quickly. The boy didn't get a chance to yelp. The boy seemed stunned at first, but he quickly stood up and straightened his robes. Neville, stop being so clumsy. His grandmother scolded him. Sorry, Gran, Neville said. He turned towards Naruto. Thanks, my name is Neville. Madame Malkin came toward Naruto and slipped a long robe over his head and began to pin it to the right length while a second witch was doing same with Neville. Are you going Hogwarts too? Naruto asked. Yes, Neville said shyly. He's shy and has very low self-confidence. Those traits will seriously affect his wizarding abilities and training, Naruto thought as he analyzed the boy's condition by his behavior. It must be because of a traumatic event or something else. I'm not sure. His train of thought was cut off by Madame Malkin's voice. That's you two done, my dears, she said to both boys. Thank you, Naruto said as he hopped down from the footstool. Neville did the same. Madame Malkin handed packages to both boys. Shizune paid for Naruto while Augusta paid for her grandson. Just before leaving the room with his sister, Naruto looked back over at Neville's grandmother Augusta. Your grandson's shy behavior and low confidence are making him clumsy, he said to Augusta, stunning her. That will seriously affect his wizarding abilities and training. There is only one solution on this, you'll have to first believe in him so he can believe in himself. There was absolute silence in the shop. No one said anything, not even Neville's grandmother. The man is not as big as his belief in himself. He is as big as the number of persons who believe in him, he added. He looked at Neville, who had tears in his eyes. It was probably the first time someone had stood up for him. I'll see you at Hogwarts, Neville. He and Shizune left the shop, leaving Neville and his grandma in the shop. Both Naruto and Shizune were now outside of the shop. Naruto-kun, you did a good thing back there, Shizune said, smiling. Thank, Naruto said. I don't doubt that she loves her grandson. I sensed her emotion when she was looking at Neville. It was love and care, but there was also sadness and disappointment. He glanced at the clothing shop. Neville's parents must be a powerful witch and wizard, and she would have been expecting great things from Neville. You have never failed to amaze me with your empathic ability and analyzing skill, Naruto-kun, Shizune said as she ruffled his hair. Being an empath, sometimes, is not good thing, Naruto said, running his hands through his hair to get them in the right place. What do you mean? Being an empath, you can't lie to himself about others' feeling towards you. You can feel their hatred or anger toward you. It is not easy dealing with people's negative emotions. Shizune nodded and said, now, let's go. We still have to buy other items on the list. They bought school books from a shop called Flourish and Blots, where the shelves were stacked to the ceiling with books as large as paving stones bound in leather. Books the size of postage stamps and covers of silk. Books full of peculiar symbols and a few books with nothing in them at all. They got a nice set of scales for weighing potion ingredients and a collapsible brass telescope from Wiseacre's wizarding equipment. Then they visited the apothecary, which was fascinating enough to make up for its horrible smell, a mixture of bad eggs and rotted cabbages. Barrels of slimy stuff stood on the floor. Jars of herbs, dried roots, and bright powders lined the walls. Bundles of feathers, strings of fangs, and snarled claws hung from the ceiling. They bought a supply of some basic potion ingredients from there. Outside the apothecary, Shizune checked Hogwarts' supply list again. Well, the only thing left is your wand, she said. The wand shop was narrow and shabby. Peeling gold letters over the door read Ollivander's. Makers of fine wands since 382 BC. A single wand lay on a faded purple cushion in the dusty window. The tinkling bell rang somewhere in the depths of the shop when Naruto and Shizune stepped inside. The shop was tiny, empty except for a single, spindly chair in the corner. Thousands of narrow boxes were piled right up to the ceiling of the tiny shop, and the whole place had a thin layer of dust. Good afternoon, a soft voice said. It was an old man, standing before them, his wide pale eyes shining like moons through the gloom of the shop. Hello, Naruto said. I'm Garrick Ollivander. Welcome to the Ollivander's wand shop, the best wand shop in Britain, old man said. He looked at Naruto. A student? Yes, Shizune answered. Then she placed her hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto needs a wand. May I ask who you are? Mr. Ollivander asked. Are you a witch? Because I don't remember you buying a wand here and I know every wand I ever sold. I'm Shizune. I'm not from Britain, she answered. Really? Where are you from then? Japan, she answered in an irritated tone. Aha. Yes, he said and then turned toward Naruto. What is your name? Naruto Yuzumaki. Then Yuzumaki? Any relation with Yuzumaki Enterprises? Yes, Naruto said. I'm the heir of Yuzumaki Enterprises. Nice to meet you, Ollivander said as he, suddenly, seized his hand to shake it. Most of wand-making materials of my shops are supplied by Yuzumaki Enterprises. Okay, old man, Naruto said as he pulled his hand out of his. Well, now, Mr. Yuzumaki, let me see, Mr. Ollivander said as he pulled a long tape measure with silver markings out of his pocket. Which is your wand arm? I'm an ambidextrous. I can use my both arms, Naruto said. Ambidextrous, that's interesting, he said as he maneuvered the tape measure around his body. He measured Naruto from shoulder to finger, then wrist to elbow, shoulder to floor, knee to armpit and round his head. Mr. Yuzumaki, every Ollivander wand has a core of a powerful magical substance. We sell only best wands. No two Ollivander wands are the same. They are always different and unique. And of course, you will never get such good results with another wizard's wand. While Ollivander was talking and flitting around the shelves, taking down boxes, the tape measure was measuring Naruto its own. That will do, Mr. Ollivander said, and the tape measure crumpled into a heap on the floor. Mr. Yuzumaki. Try this one. Hawthorn and Dragon Heartstring. 10 inches. Nice and flexible. Naruto took the wand in his hand and said, it doesn't feel right. He waved the wand and it made many boxes fall out of the shelves. Ollivander snatched it out of his hand. You are quite right, he said as he got another wand for Naruto. Here, willow and unicorn hair, 7.5 inches, springy. Go on, try it out. Naruto waved it and it made a flower pot break. It was snatched back by Ollivander again. Maple and phoenix feather. 7 inches. Quite whippy. Try. Naruto tried. And tried. It seemed that he had tried out almost all of the wands within the shop, he had vandalized the half-wand shop in the process, but couldn't find the right one for him. How is this possible? Ollivander stated in disbelief, not once has a wizard been rejected by so many wands. As a member of the Yuzumaki clan, he has both an exceptionally long lifespan and a high potency level of magic compared to others, Shizune explained to him. Really? Ollivander asked. He looked surprised. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because you never asked me, she said. However, silently she thought, serves you right for irritating me before. Before he could go to get Naruto a new wand, he paused and stared at Naruto's eyes. You've two different colored eyes. Ollivander said as he moved closer to Naruto. You've heterochromia. Yes. Interesting, he muttered under his breath and went to the back room, reaching for a wand that Naruto hadn't tried yet. Ollivander searched the back room until his eyes laid upon a black wand box with a lock on it. I wonder, he thought. He took the box and turned around, slowly walking back toward the boy. Naruto looked up from the counter as Ollivander walked towards him. He opened a drawer and pulled out a key to unlock the box. Here, try this one. Naruto could hear the nervousness in the man's voice. He saw the wand. It was a black-colored wand that had purple-colored design on it, which reminded him of Karasu's feathers. Naruto took the wand. He felt a sudden warmth in his fingers and then something amazing happened. A purple-black river seemed to pour from the wand, it twisted and turned and slithered around him. It stopped right above his head. The end of the red river twisted into a large black-colored bird, it looked like a raven. It opened its wings and gave a loud cry of joy, which shattered all glass objects in the shop before dissolving into small black-colored light dust particles. Wow. Naruto said. I'll take this. How much? Ollivander didn't hear him. He was looking around the shop while crying in I'm style that his nice clean store was now a mess. Both Naruto and Shizune's sweat dropped at this. Don't worry. I'll pay extra for it, Naruto added. Thank you, Ollivander said. He took a deep breath. Anyway, your wand is one of the oldest wands in my shop. It was crafted by my great-grandfather. 12 3/4 inches. Its core is rare, quite picky and dangerous. In my father's time, one wizard forcefully tried to wield this wand by doing a spell. It was a bad decision. Very bad. He looked at Naruto. You see, in the most of case, a wand does refuse to cooperate with wizard, but this wand did something more evil. It consumed that wizard's soul and left him as an empty shell. What is its core? Shizune asked curiously. She wanted to know about the wand, while Naruto was also eagerly waiting for his answer. Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know much about it. After hearing his answer, both Shizune and Naruto nearly fell on the ground. What do you mean you don't know? Shizune shouted. My great-grandfather found it when he was in Japan to collect new ingredients for wands. The core of wand is feather of an unknown blackbird. My great-grandfather had described about the bird that he was only saw a glance of it before it disappeared into the shadow, leaving its single black feather on the ground. This sounds familiar, Naruto thought. He asked, can you tell me more about this feather? From my great-grandfather has written about it that it was beautiful black-colored feather with purple-colored rune-like markings over it. The Yatagarasu's feather, Naruto concluded. That's why, Shizune said, looking at purple marking over Naruto's wand, this marking looks familiar to me. The Yatagarasu, do you mean the three-legged crow? Ollivander asked. Naruto nodded. Are you sure? Yes. They have black feathers with purple-colored rune-like marking over it and the power to disappear into the shadow, Naruto said. Naruto know more than anyone in the world about them because his animal companion is a Yatagarasu, Shizune said. Ollivander just stared at Naruto with a shocked expression on his face. Your animal companion is a Yatagarasu? He asked. Yes, Naruto said. He noticed a hungry look in his eyes. Naruto's sweat dropped. No. I am not giving you her feather. She loves her feathers very much. Well, okay, Ollivander said. There was disappointment in his voice. Anyway, Naruto said, can you make a custom wand handle for me? Ollivander nodded. What kind of handle you want? He asked. Well, I want, Naruto said as he told his requirement for his wand handle. Can you do that? Yes, I can, Ollivander said. It would take me minimum of 2 hours to make it for you. Naruto gave his wand to Mr. Ollivander. Also, he said. Out of his pocket, he pulled a small red bag and handed it to Wandmaker, place it on the end of my wand handle. Ollivander opened bag and looked inside of it. Where did you find this? They are very rare. It belongs to my family, Naruto said. Both Naruto and Shizune were now outside of the wand shop. They were walking on the street while their cart, which was filled with Naruto's school items like cloths, books etc., was following after them magically. So what now? Shizune asked. Let's check out that shop, Naruto said, pointing at Magical Menagerie shop. By placing some security charm, they left their cart outside and entered in the Magical Menagerie. It was a pet shop. It was very cramped with noisy every inch of wall covered by cages. Welcome to the Magical Menagerie. They heard a female voice behind them. Turning around, they saw a woman in her 60s. What can I do for you, madam and sir? We are just Shizune couldn't finish her sentence as the old lady suddenly appeared front of her and held her hand. I've a perfect pet for you, madam, the old lady said as she pulled Shizune with her and started to show her various animals in her shop. Naruto's sweat dropped as he knew Shizune was struggling to free herself from the old lady's hold. But her efforts were turned out to be useless. The old lady, who was apparently stronger than her age suggested, was perfectly holding her. Is she related to Grandma Tsunade? Naruto thought. Nah, I don't think so. In the all noise in the shop, there was a strange hissing sound coming from the corner of the shop. Well, a strange hissing sound for a normal person, but not for Naruto. Hello? Is Indian hair? The hissing voice said. Naruto moved his head to the side listening. Slowly, he turned his head towards the noise and looked at the corner of shop. Narrowing his eyes, he went in the direction the voice had come from. That's interesting, Naruto said. In the corner of the shop stood a large glass tank holding a white snake of considerable size, the same size of an average king cobra. He was a rather pretty snake. His scales weren't just white, they were more mother of pearl in coloring and looked glossed with the finest polish. His head stood a tall 3 feet off the ground, showing a small red diamond in the middle of his head. And his eyes like the brightest gold flakes with slits. Naruto moved in front of the tank and looked intently at the snake. That is your name? He asked in Parselting, the language of serpents. It made a hissing sound, similar to a snake. Snake looked him with his golden eyes. I have no name, he replied. Then I'll give you one, Naruto said. That you think about Nagi. Nagi, it is a good name. The snake nodded his head. Where are you from? I don't know. Want to come with me? Naruto asked. Nagi nodded. Give me few minutes. Naruto turned around and started walking towards the cashier counter. That snake isn't a normal magical animal, he thought while walking. He could feel a large magical energy coming from Nagi. When he reached the counter he saw Shizune holding a white cat in her hand. Shizune saw Naruto. Naruto-kun, look at her, isn't she adorable? She said, showing him a white cat. The cat was a large. She had a pure white coat, bottle brush tail and big blue eyes. She was really cute. Naruto noticed she was releasing a small magical energy. She is not a normal cat, is she? Naruto said. You are right, young man, old lady said. She is cat Neasel crossbreed. Naruto said as he looked at the cat. She is cute, Shizune Ni-chan. What are you going to call her anyway? Shizune looked at the cat. I'm going to name you Miyuki, she said, petting the cat and getting a purr in return. Nice name, Naruto said. Then he turned toward the old lady. He pointed at particular corner of the shop. I want to buy that white snake. You want to buy a snake? The old lady asked in surprised tone. Yes, Naruto said. But why are you surprised? The old lady said, snake are usually attributed to the dark arts. In these days not many people like snakes because of you know who. She whispered last part. Naruto nodded. But I want to buy him, he said. Well, alright, the old lady said. When she went the back room to get the papers they needed, both Shizune and Naruto went toward the white snake. He's really a pretty snake, Shizune said, seeing a white snake. He's also intelligent, Naruto said. Shizune suddenly turned toward him. You talk to him, she asked. Naruto nodded. Naruto-kun, for everyone, especially in Britain, parcel mouth is the mark of a dark wizard. So please, from now try to avoid using parselting in public places. Naruto nodded. I'll try, Shizune Ni-chan. Few minutes later, the old lady came toward them, holding necessary papers. These are your papers, she said as she handed papers to them. They took the papers from her. After reading them over, they signed their respective names, the amount they were paying, and paid the old lady. Thank you, the old lady said, taking both the papers and money from them. Can you tell me more about him? Naruto asked as he pointed at his new pet. Well, he is poisonous. But don't worry about it, he is a generally docile snake. His favorite food is fish. About his species, he is crossbreed of king cobra and a magical snake, though what breed I don't know. I don't think he is a crossbreed, Naruto thought. No crossbreed has that much amount of magical energy. After spending a long time looking at many magical items in various shops, they were once again in Ollivander's wand shop. When Naruto and Shizune walked into the shop, they instantly noticed extra damage in the shop. Welcome back Mr. Yuzumaki and Miss Shizune, Ollivander said when he saw both of them. Another customer? Naruto asked, pointing at extra damage. Yes, Ollivander said, a very tricky customer. Anyway, is Naruto's wand ready? Shizune asked, suddenly, ending their conversation. Yes, it is, Ollivander said. He went the back room in his shop and came back with a black wand box. Here it is. Ollivander opened the box, showing them Naruto's wand. It looked same, but the end of the wand was a new silvery black colored handle, engraved with silvery white snake and black raven. The snake's mouth was open and around the upper wand, while its tail and rest of body was wrapped around the raven. The bottom of the handle had small blood red ruby which was held by one of the raven's talon. If anyone looked closely at Ruby, they could see the Yuzumaki clan swirl inside of it. It was beautiful, Shizune said. You did a great job, old man, Naruto said. He really liked his new handle. Thank you, Ollivander said, happily. He put Naruto's wand back into its box and wrapped it in brown paper. He gave it to Shizune. What is the total cost of all items? Shizune asked, taking Naruto's wand from his hand. 15 gallons for the wand and 5 gallons for the custom handle, Ollivander said. Total 20 gallons. Shizune gave him 25 gallons. Extra 5 for the damage, she said. Ollivander nodded. Thank you, he took the money from her. You are my second famous customer in this year, whom I've sold a wand, he said, referring Naruto's famous reputation as the heir of the Yuzumaki enterprises and the son of Minato and Kushina. Who is the first? Shizune asked, curiously. Harry Potter, Ollivander answered. Is Harry Potter attending the Hogwarts this year? Naruto asked. Ollivander nodded. This is interesting, Naruto thought himself. Then he looked at the wand maker and said anyway, goodbye, see you next time. Goodbye Mr. Yuzumaki, and good luck with your future studies in Hogwarts. Ollivander said. Naruto nodded as he and Shizune left the wand shop. It was mid-afternoon, and the sun was blazing high in the sky as Naruto and Shizune made their way back down Diagon Alley, back through the wall, back through the leaky cauldron. When they reached there, they saw Snape waiting for them. Hello Professor Snape. Good afternoon, Snape-san. Both Naruto and Shizune greeted him. Good afternoon, Snape said. Then he noticed a snake sleeping inside of the tank on his cart. You like snakes? Yes, he likes snake, Shizune said as she narrowed her eyes at him. Are you one of those kind of people who thinks that snakes are a symbol of the dark arts? Snape shook his head. No, I'm the head of Slytherin House, and its emblematic animal is a snake. Oh. Sorry, Shizune apologized for the misunderstanding. Snape reached into his pocket and pulled out a ticket. It was ticket for the Hogwarts Express. He gave the slip of paper to Shizune. This is a ticket for the Hogwarts Express for. All required information is printed on the ticket. Ask your lobby manager about platform 9 3/4, platform 9 3/4. He will tell you more about it, he said before disappearing with Pop. He is cold, Shizune said, but he is a good man. Yes, but his heart is filled with pain, guilt and regret, Naruto said as he had sensed those emotions from the depth of Snape's heart. But that Naruto was again able to amaze Shizune with his empathic ability. Anyway, let's go, Shizune said as she placed her hand on Naruto's shoulder before disappearing with a loud crack. Now, what's the platform number? Naruto asked, pushing his cart loaded with his trunk, and Nagi's tank. Shizune had placed a charm on it so no one can notice the large white snake. 9 3/4, Shizune said. In her left hand, she was holding her new pet cat Miyuki, while in her other hand, she had Naruto's Hogwarts Express ticket. Both of them had arrived at King's Cross Station on time. Now, they were searching for the platform of number 9 3/4. Naruto asked again, what did lobby manager say to you about platform 9 3/4? He said to get onto platform 9 3/4. We would have to walk directly at the apparently solid metal ticket box dividing platforms 9 and 10. Then let's find 9 and 10. When they got there, they saw a small red-headed girl around 10 years old standing there. She was staring at dividing barrier between the two platforms 9 and 10. Naruto approached towards her. He could feel her magical energy. Guessing she must be from a magical family, he asked, is this entrance of platform 9 3/4? He pointed at the barrier. The girl subconsciously nodded her head without looking at him, but then she blinked as a sudden realization hit her. Wow, she saw Naruto holding a cart. Yes, this is an entrance of platform 9 3/4. Naruto said, thank you. Why are you standing here alone? Where are your parents? Shizune asked. They are inside with my brothers, who are going off to Hogwarts, the girl said. Shizune asked, why aren't you with them? Because my mom said I'm not old enough, she answered. Naruto could tell from her voice she was upset. Can you show us how to get onto the platform? He asked. What about my mother? I'll tell her, you are showing us the entrance of the platform, Shizune said. Really? The red-headed girl asked, hopefully. Shizune nodded her head. Thanks. My name is Ginevra Weasley. Call me Ginny, she said, shyly. Naruto said, I'm Naruto and she, he pointed at Shizune, is my big sister Shizune. Now, Ginny. Can you show us how to get onto the platform? Shizune said. It's getting late. Ginny nodded as she went inside the barrier and Naruto and Shizune followed after her. They felt a rush of cool air and King's Cross Station around them disappeared, only to be replaced by a large train platform. It was packed with a huge amount of people. A sign overhead said Hogwarts Express, 11 o'clock. Naruto looked behind him and saw a wrought iron archway where the barrier had been, with the words platform 9 3/4 on it. Naruto looked at Shizune. Goodbye Shizune Ni-chan, he said, giving her a hug. Then he turned to Ginny. Thanks for help, Ginny, and goodbye. Next time see you at the Hogwarts. He pushed his trolley forward and began to run towards the Hogwarts Express. Ginny, what are you doing here? a woman's voice said from behind Ginny and Shizune. They turned around. The speaker was a plump woman with red hair. "Mom," Ginny said. "She is here because of me and my brother. We are new here so she helped us to get onto platform," Shizune said for girl's defense. "She is a good girl." "Really?" Ginny's mother asked. Ginny nodded. "I'm proud of you, Ginny." After giving her daughter a hug, she turned towards Shizune. "Hello, I'm Ginny's mom, Molly Weasley." "Nice to meet you," Shizune said, slightly bowing her head. "My name is Shizune." When Shizune and Molly were talking to each other, Naruto was looking for empty seat. The first few carriages were already packed with students, some hanging out of the window to talk to their families, some fighting over seats. He pushed his cart off down the platform in search of an empty seat. Naruto pressed on through the chattering crowd until he found an empty compartment. He easily lifted Nagi's heavy glass tank and placed under the overhead ramp. Then lifting the much heavier metal trunk with one hand like it was nothing, he climbed into the carriage. He looked at Nagi's glass tank after placing his trunk on the ramp. "I can't carry both of them," he said to himself. "Bell, master, I can walk with you," Nagi, his pet snake said in a hissing tone, snake tongue. "Sorry, but no. I don't want to scare all the students half to death," Naruto whispered in English near Nagi's tank, so only he could hear. For other it looked like he was looking at his snake. As for Nagi, he was an intelligent snake, so he did understand what his master was saying to him. There was a sweet feminine sound behind him, which said "excuse me." Naruto turned and searched for the source of sound. There she was standing, holding large metal trunk in her hand, wearing a simple dark purple blouse with a red plum skirt. She was a fair-skinned beautiful girl. She had long, straight black hair with bangs hanging on either side of her face to roughly frame her cheeks and dark blue eyes. "Please, let me help you, miss," he said as he lifted her trunk to place it in the overhead ramp. Then he helped her to get inside the carriage. "Thanks," the girl said. She took a deep breath and slowly held her hand out to him. "My name is Belinda Dark, but you can call me Bella." Naruto took her soft hand and shook it. "Nice to meet you, Bella." "I'm Naruto," he said. Bella went towards her trunk to lift it up, but before she could do anything Naruto stopped her. "Don't worry about it," he said. "But you already have your luggage and I don't want to bother you." "I can handle it," Bella said. "Bella, I can handle it. I have my ways," Naruto said. As he pulled out his wand from his magical charm bag, which was hanging on the right side of his waist, the bag was the safest place for storing any valuable objects and especially wands. He murmured something very quietly, tapping his wand on his and Bella's luggage. Both trunks and Nagi's glass tank lifted a few feet in the air. "Wow," Bella said. "Shall we go now?" Naruto asked. Bella nodded as they began to walk towards a compartment with their luggage following after them magically. "Thank Kami," Naruto thought as he was walking with Bella. Being an official vehicle of Hogwarts School, this train is considered an extension of the school. It means I can use magic here without violating underage magic restrictions. Both Bella and Naruto reached a compartment. After opening the sliding door, they saw there was a boy with a pale, pointed face sitting far away from the door looking out the window. He had platinum blonde hair and gray eyes. Naruto knocked the door as the boy's head whipped around to stare at them. Naruto sensed a look of snobbishness in the way the boy looked at them, but ignored it. "Can we sit here with you? All the other compartments are filled," Naruto asked. The boy nodded his head and said, "Sure." They went inside the compartment. Naruto sat down in a seat across the boy while Bella took seat next to Naruto. Naruto waved his wand as their luggage and snake glass tank came inside the compartment. Using wand, he placed his and Bella's trunk in a corner of the compartment and Nagi's glass tank on empty seats beside Bella. He put his wand back to his waist bag. He noticed pale boy in front of him was looking at him with wide eyes in shock. "What?" Naruto asked. "Merlin," the pale boy said finally in a surprised tone as he stood up from his seat. "You're in first year like me, but you can do the magic so efficiently." "Well, thank you," Naruto said. "But what about underage magic restrictions law? This train is a school property and you can use magic in the school." "I didn't think about that," the boy said as he sat back on his seat. He extended his hand towards Naruto. "My name is Draco Malfoy, by the way." Naruto took his hand and shook it firmly. "I'm Naruto and her name is Bella," he said, introducing himself and Bella to him. "There is an underage magic restrictions law?" Bella asked. "Yes," Naruto said. He was surprised she didn't know about the underage magic law. "How you don't know about law? Didn't your parents tell you about it?" Draco asked. "I don't have parents," Bella said as she looked down at her feet. "I'm an orphan." "Oh, sorry," Draco said, not sounding sorry at all. "Bella, don't feel ashamed. My parents died the same day I was born," Naruto said as Bella looked at him. "If you are an orphan then make many true friends. Because your friends are your future family." Bella looked at him teary eyes and even Draco seemed touched by his words. "Thanks," she said, wiping some tears from her eyes. Suddenly, they heard the whistle blow. Draco leaned out the window. Naruto saw Shizune through the window waving, so he waved back to her. The whistle blew again, and the train started to move, pulling slowly out of the station. There was silence between them for a few minutes before Draco broke it. "What kind of wizard are you?" he asked Naruto. Naruto just stared at Draco. "What do you mean?" he asked. "I mean, are you a Muggle-born, half-blood, or pureblood?" "I'm a pureblood." "What is Muggle-born, half-blood, or pureblood?" Bella asked. "Well," Naruto said as he began to explain her about it in magical world. Draco was also adding some of his own points in their conversation. While they had been talking, the train had carried them out of London. Now they were speeding past fields full of cows and sheep. They were quiet for a time, watching the fields and lanes flick past. Around 12 there was a great clattering outside in the corridor and a smiling, dimpled woman slid back their door. "Pardon me, but would you like some sweets?" she asked. "No thanks, I've brought sandwiches," Bella said. "Yes, give us 3 of everything," Naruto said as he stood up from his seat and went out into the corridor. Naruto paid the woman a gold galleon. He brought Betty Bott's every flavor beans, Drubal's best blowing gum, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, licorice wands, and a number of other things for all of them into the compartment and tipped it onto an empty seat. Bella stared at Naruto. "Are you going to eat all of this?" she asked. "No. This is for all of us," Naruto said. "Thanks," Draco said, taking one licorice wand, a wizarding sweet that was shaped like a wand. "No thanks," Bella said. She had taken out a small package and unwrapped it. There were 2 sandwiches inside. "I don't want to waste my sandwiches." "I'll eat those for you," Naruto said, taking one sandwich. "They aren't special. You don't need to eat them," Bella said. "I like sandwiches," Naruto said as he took one bite. "And I love strawberry jam." "Go on, try a pasty," Draco said to her. "They're tasty." Bella took a large bite out of a pumpkin pasty. "Yes. It's good." They ate food and talked on many interesting topics like food, magic, game, etc. Bella took a pack of chocolate frogs. "Chocolate frogs? That's really weird, does it taste good?" she asked. "Yes, but as soon as you open it you got to eat it fast because they will hop away and," Naruto trailed off seeing her face, "no. They are not really alive, just enchanted. They also have cards inside them. They are cards of famous witches and wizards. I've got about 800, Draco added. Bella relaxed and decided to try a chocolate frog. She opened up her container and before she could stop the frog, it hopped away. Bella sighed and looked at the wizard card she had received. It showed a man's face. He had bright blue eyes and spiky blonde hair and was wearing a white haori over his normal attire. He was Minato Namikaze, Draco said, looking at the card in her hand. "You are lucky. He and his wife Kushina Yuzumaki are some of the rarest cards in the chocolate frog cards. They are my favorite. I've 5 of both of them." She turned the card back over and saw Minato had disappeared. "Don't worry. He'll be back," Naruto said as he opened his own chocolate frog and ate it before it could hop away. He picked up the card. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door of their compartment and 2 boys came inside. Both of them were thick-set and looked extremely mean. One boy was large and very fat, with a thick neck, while the other boy had broad shoulders, noticeably larger than Naruto and Draco. "Crab, Goyle," Draco said. "Draco, we have news," Crab said, his voice was surprisingly soft for such an enormous person. Draco nodded and stood up on his feet. He looked Naruto and Bella and said, "Naruto, Bella. These are my friends Crab and Goyle." "Nice to meet you," Bella said. "Like she said," Naruto said. Both Crab and Goyle nodded their head. "See you later," Draco said, and he left with his friends. "Take this," Naruto said. He gave Bella his chocolate frog card. "He is incomplete without her. They are soulmates." Bella took the card. It was the card of Minato's wife Kushina Yuzumaki. She had fair skin, violet eyes, fiery red hair with strands that framed both sides of her face, and a black clip that parts her hair to the left. "She is beautiful," Bella said. Naruto said, "Thank you." "Why are you thanking me?" "Nothing." They stared to try remaining sweets. They tried Betty Drubal's best blowing gum, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, licorice wands, and a number of other things. They had a good time eating the every flavor beans. Naruto got toast, coconut, coffee and sardine, while Bella got baked bean, strawberry, curry and grass. The countryside now flying past the window was becoming wilder. The neat fields had gone. Now there were woods, twisting rivers, and dark green hills. "I think we should change into our uniforms now," Naruto suggested. Bella nodded. Naruto left the compartment, closing the sliding door to give her some privacy to change. She did so quickly and he returned. Bella was dressed in the Hogwarts girl's uniform, consisting of a plain white button shirt, a house tie, thick stripes, a grey knitted V-neck jumper, grey pleated skirt, plain black shoes, grey socks, and an open black buttoned robe on. Naruto went towards his trunk, opening it and going through the clothes inside. He pulled out a Hogwarts boy's uniform. Turning around, he saw Bella going outside of the compartment. "There's no need to that," he said, placing his uniform on an empty seat. "Huh?" Pulling wand out, Naruto placed tip of wand on his Hogwarts uniform. Suppono subpono. In flash of light, his cloths replaced with Hogwarts boy's uniform, a plain white buttoned shirt, a tie, a grey knitted V-neck jumper, grey trousers, plain black shoes, grey socks, and an open black buttoned robe, and his old clothes were now on the seat. "Wow." Bella said. "We can do that with magic too." "Anything is possible with magic," Naruto said as he picked up his old cloths from the seat and began walk towards his trunk. "Can magic bring the dead back to life?" she asked to prove him wrong. Naruto stopped in his tracks and turned back towards her. "Yes, it can," he said darkly, shocking her. "Really?" "Yes, but all things do come at a price. You cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain, something of equal value must be lost." Turning around, he began to walk toward his trunk. "To bring the dead back to life, you must present something of equal value to life." "What is the equal value of life?" "Life," Naruto answered, putting his old cloths in the trunk. Bella said, shocked, "You mean? To resurrect someone, you'll have to kill someone. It is dark magic and it is considered bad, very bad," Naruto said, looking at her. "But if you ask me, the magic itself is not good or bad. The intent of the person casting the magic is what makes it good or bad." "You really have a weird philosophy," Bella said, smiling. "But I like it." "Thanks." There was a knock on the door of their compartment and a buck-toothed bushy-haired girl, she was wearing her new Hogwarts robes, and the round-faced boy, who Naruto recognized, came in. The girl said, "Hi. My name is Hermione Granger. Has anyone seen a toad?" "Nevi." "Hello Neville." Naruto said. "Hi Naruto." Neville said. "What happened?" Naruto asked. "I've lost my toad again," Neville said. "Naruto, have you seen a toad?" Naruto shook his head. "But I'll help you to find it," he said, standing his seat. He looked at Bella. "Want to come with me?" "Sure," Bella said as she stood up from her seat. "Bella, this is Neville. I met him in Diagon Alley," Naruto said, introducing Neville to Bella. Then he pointed at bushy-haired girl. "She is. What is your name?" "My name is Hermione Granger," the bushy-haired girl said in an annoyed tone. Bella said, "Nice to meet you Hermione. I am Bella." "And I'm Naruto." After introduction, they left the compartment to find missing toad. Bella, Naruto, Neville and Hermione, they all were looking for Neville's pet toad Trevor. "She is really eager to help you," Naruto whispered in Neville's ear. Neville's nodded his head. While Hermione was searching all compartments to find missing toad, Bella, Naruto and Neville were walking behind her. "Naruto," Neville said, still walking. "After you talked to Gran, she's been behaving me differently. She has become a lot of nicer to me. She's still strict, but it's okay for me. Thank you." "You're welcome, Neville," Naruto said. "Hey, let's check out this compartment. They must know something about your toad," Hermione said, pointing at another compartment. "Hermione, I've already asked them. They don't know anything," Neville said, but Hermione didn't hear him. She opened compartment door. They saw two boys sitting near the window. The first one was red-haired. He had a fat grey rat on his lap while he was holding very battered-looking wand in his right hand. Is he trying to cast a spell on the rat? Naruto and Bella thought. The other boy had untidy jet black hair that covering his forehead and green eyes. Naruto's sharp eyes caught a glimpse of a lightning bolt-shaped scar on his forehead. So this is Harry Potter. The redhead must be Ginny's brother, Naruto thought. When they entered in the compartment, Harry clenched his scar in pain. "Are you okay, Harry?" the red-headed boy asked. "Yes," Harry said as he felt the pain leaving from his scar. "Has anyone seen a toad?" "Neville's lost one," Hermione said. "We've already told him we haven't seen it," the red-headed boy replied. Looking at the wand in his hand, Hermione said, "Oh, are you doing magic? Let's see it then." She sat down in front of them. "We also want to see some magic," Naruto said, referring himself, Bella and Neville. They took seats next to Hermione. The redhead looked taken aback. Alright," he said as he cleared his throat. "Sunshine, daisies, buttermellow, turn this stupid fat rat yellow." Naruto's sweat dropped after hearing his stupid spell. Someone must have pranked him, he thought. The boy waved his wand, but nothing happened. "Are you sure that's a real spell?" Hermione, "Well, it's not very good, is it? I've tried a few simple spells just for practice and it's all worked for me. For example. Oculus Reparo," flicking her wand at Harry's glasses. The glasses seemed to repair themselves and Harry pulled them off to examine them. Then she began to speak fast, very fast, and started telling them about herself. Nobody in my family's magic at all, it was ever such a surprise when I got my letter, but I was ever so pleased, of course, I mean, it's the very best school of witchcraft there is, I've heard, I've learned all our course books by heart, of course, I just hope it will be enough, I'm Hermione Granger, by the way, who are you? She said all in one breath. Silence, no one said anything. Huh? This was only reply she got from the redhead. Naruto noticed Harry Potter, Ginny's brother, Neville and even Bella looking at her with stupefied and confused faces. Other than the first sentence in her name, they didn't understand any words from her talk, so he decided to simplify it for them. Ahem, the sound of Naruto clearing his throat to catch their attention. They all looked at him. Allow me to simplify it for you. She is a muggle-born witch. Her family didn't know about the existence of magic until she got an invitation letter from Hogwarts. Anyway, she likes study. Her hobby is reading. She wants to make her parents proud of her by becoming a great witch. She knows a few spells from the books, and you saw that she can do them easily. He turned toward Hermione, do you want to add anything extra in that? Hermione's jaw dropped on the ground. He told many things about her to them, which she hadn't said. We've never met each other before, so how do you know about my dream and hobby? I guessed it, Naruto said. He looked at both Harry and Ginny's brother. My name is Naruto. He, pointing at Neville, is Neville Longbottom and, placing hand on Bella, she is Belinda Dark, call her Bella, and you already know her name, pointing at Hermione. So who are you guys? I'm Ron Weasley, Ron muttered. Harry Potter, Harry said. Are you really? Neville asked. Harry nodded his head. Wow, I know all about you, of course I got a few extra books. For background reading, and you're in modern magical history and the rise and fall of the dark arts and great wizarding events of the 20th century, Hermione said. Bella looked at Naruto for an explanation as she didn't know anything about Harry Potter. I'll tell you later, Naruto whispered in her ear. She nodded. Am I? Harry said, feeling dazed. Goodness, didn't you know, I'd have found out everything I could if it was me, Hermione said. Do either of you know what house you'll be in? I've been asking around, and I hope I'm in Gryffindor, it sounds by far the best. I hear Dumbledore himself was in it, but I suppose Ravenclaw would. Hermione, we'd better go now. We still have to search Neville's missing toad, Naruto said, cutting her off mid-sentence. He stood up from his seat. But first, looking down at Ron, what did you wanted to do with your rat earlier? I wanted to change Scabbers' color, Ron said. And who taught you that spell? My brothers Fred and George. Do they like prank? Yes, Ron said. Why do you want to know about that? I have to say, they are succeed in doing a prank on you. Ron's mouth dropped open in shock. W had. It wasn't a color-changing spell. It was your humiliation spell, Naruto said. He pulled out his wand. The spell was fake. This is real spell. Multicolovaria. Pointing his wand at Ron's rat. The rat color changed from gray to neon green. Let's go. Turning around, he started to walk away. Hey, what about Scabbers? Ron shouted as he pointed at his neon green rat. Don't worry about it. The spell's effect will wear off soon, Naruto said as Ron sighed with relief. Soon means in 2-3 days, he added. Ron shouted, what? Suddenly, his rat's color changed again from neon green to bright orange. Sorry. I forgot to tell you that I've done some modification in the spell. His color will change after every few minutes, Naruto said, and he left with Bella, Hermione and Neville. Whatever house I'm in, I hope he and that girl Hermione are not in it, Ron said. He threw his wand back into his trunk. He looked at his rat whose color was now green with pink dots. Oh. Scabbers. Why did you do that? Hermione asked. Because it was funny, Naruto said. And as I said, effective spell will wear off in 2-3 days. So no harm done. Hey. I saw Trevor there, Neville shouted. He pointed at one side of the train corridor and ran there. Neville, wait for us. Hermione shouted as Bella and Naruto ran after him. A few minutes later. They were same place where they were before, in front of Harry's compartment. It was a waste of time, Hermione said. She huffed in air, suggesting that she was exhausted. Bella nodded her head in agreement. She was also panting heavily. But I really saw Trevor there, Neville said, out of breath from all the running. It was fun, Naruto said. He looked completely normal even after all running. All of a sudden, they heard a scream that seemed to come out of Harry's compartment. Did you hear that? Neville asked, slightly scared. Yes, and it's coming from Harry's compartment, Naruto said. They all ran towards the compartment. They opened the sliding door to see familiar faces of Harry, Ron and Draco's friend Crabbe and Goyle, only for Naruto and Bella. Naruto's sweat dropped when he saw Goyle swinging his arm round and round, desperately trying to get bright pink-colored Scabbers off, whose teeth had sunk into his fat finger. What's going on here? He asked. Hearing a familiar voice, Draco looked towards him. "Naruto, please do something about that rat," he said, pointing at Scabbers, whose color was now red with green lines. Before Naruto could do anything, Scabbers flew off from large boy's finger and hit the window. "Draco, you and your friends come with me if you don't want to be kicked out from the school before first semester even starts," Naruto said to Draco, who nodded his head. He turned towards Hermione and Neville. "Goodbye." He left with Bella, Draco, Crabbe and Goyle. Naruto, Bella, Draco and Draco's friends were now outside of the Harry's compartment and were walking towards their respective compartment. "Why were you fighting with Harry, Ron and Ron's pet Scabbers?" Naruto asked Draco. "They got on my nerves," Draco answered. Naruto shook his head and thought Harry must have refused Draco's friendship offer. "You'd better hurry up and put your robes on, we've just been up to the front to ask the conductor and he says we're nearly there," he said to them. The voice echoed through the train. "We will be reaching Hogwarts in 5 minutes' time. Please leave your luggage on the train, it will be taken to the school separately." Bella and Naruto joined the throng of people in the corridor. First years over here." A man was shouting to catch first-year students' attention. He was about twice as tall as an average man, standing at 11 feet, 6 inches tall and 3 times as wide, with a long mane of shaggy black hair and a beard that covered most of his face. He had light skin and dark eyes that glinted like black beetles. "Whoa, I never saw a man as big as him," Naruto said, looking at the man. "That's Hagrid," Bella said. She was walking beside him. "He is the gamekeeper at Hogwarts." Turning toward her, Naruto asked, "And how did you know that?" Bella explained her first meeting with Hagrid, how Dumbledore introduced her to him, how Hagrid helped her in school shopping, etc. First years over here," Hagrid said again. They followed him down a slippery path, shivering in the chill night air. The night was pitch black and there was nothing to be seen. "We all get your furs side o' Hogwarts in a sec," Hagrid called over his shoulder, "just as round this bend here." After the rounded bend, a lot of gasps of delight came from the crowd. Ahead of them was a huge black lake and beyond rose a high mountain. Atop of the mountain, lights burning in the windows, was the silhouette of a magnificent castle. "No more'n 5 to a boat," Hagrid called, pointing to a fleet of little boats sitting in the water by the shore. They followed Draco and his cronies to the nearest one. "Everyone in?" Hagrid shouted, who had a boat to himself. Right then forward. They sailed through a curtain of ivy, traveling down a long, dark tunnel, until they reached a dimly lit underground harbor and ended at a cliff. With groans and complaints of numb limbs, everyone departed the boats. Hagrid led them up a flight of stone steps until, at last, stopped at majestic oak doors. Hagrid raised a gigantic fist and knocked 3 times on the castle door. The doors opened to a stern-looking witch, whose black hair was tied up into a tight bun. "The first years, Professor McGonagall," Hagrid said. "Thank you, Hagrid. I will take them from here," she said, and she pulled the door wide for them. The entrance hall was big. The stone walls were lit with flaming torches like the ones at Gringotts, the ceiling was too high to make out, and a magnificent marble staircase facing them led to the upper floors. They followed Professor McGonagall across the flagged stone floor. She showed the first years into a small empty chamber off the hall. "Welcome to Hogwarts," Professor McGonagall said. "The start of term banquet will begin shortly, but before you take your seats in the Great Hall, you will be sorted into your houses. The sorting is a very important ceremony because, while you are here, your house will be something like your family within Hogwarts. You will have classes with the rest of your house, sleep in your house dormitory, and spend free time in your house common room. The 4 houses are called Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Each house has its own noble history, and each has produced outstanding witches and wizards. While you are at Hogwarts, your triumphs will earn your house points, while any rule breaking will lose house points. At the end of the year, the house with the most points is awarded the House Cup, a great honor. I hope each of you will be a credit to whichever house becomes yours. The sorting ceremony will take place in a few minutes in front of the rest of the school. I suggest you all smarten yourselves up as much as you can while you are waiting." She looked at all students. "I shall return when we are ready for you," she said. "Please wait quietly." She left the chamber. "How exactly do they sort us into houses?" Naruto asked Draco. "I don't have clue," Draco said, who looked nervous. Naruto raised an eyebrow, but didn't comment on it. He looked around curiously and saw that everyone else looked terrified. No one was talking much except Hermione, who was whispering very fast about all the spells she'd learned and wondering which one she'd need. Suddenly, the group of ghosts drifted through the wall, causing several people to scream. They were translucent and silvery and in the middle of a discussion. Professor McGonagall's sharp voice rang out. "Move along now. The sorting ceremony's about to start," she said to first years. "Now, form a line and follow me." She led them into the Great Hall. It was lit by thousands and thousands of candles that were floating in midair over 4 long tables where the rest of the students were sitting. These tables were laid with glittering golden plates and goblets. At the top of the hall was another long table where the teachers were sitting. Naruto saw both Dumbledore and Snape sitting on their respective chairs. Suddenly, he heard Hermione's voice. "It's bewitched to look like the sky outside. I read about it in Hogwarts, a history." Wondering what on earth she was talking about, he glanced up as he saw a velvety black ceiling dotted with stars. "Now, I want something like this in my bedroom," he thought, looking at the ceiling. Professor McGonagall marched right up to the high table and placed a stool before it. On top of the stool she put an old, frayed and rather faded wizard's hat. The hall became silent as everyone focused on the hat. A rip opened at the bottom and the hat began to sing a song. "Oh, you may not think I'm pretty. But don't judge on what you see. I'll lead myself if you can find a smarter hat than me. You can keep your bowlers black. Your top hat sleek and tall. For I'm the Hogwarts sorting hat. And I can cap them all. There's nothing hidden in your head. The sorting hat can't see. So try me on and I will tell you where you ought to be. You might belong in Gryffindor. Where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring, nerve, and chivalry set Gryffindors apart. You might belong in Hufflepuff. Where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true. And unafraid of toil. Or yet in wise old Ravenclaw. If you've a ready mind. Where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin. You'll make your real friends. Those cunning folks use any means to achieve their ends. So put me on. Don't be afraid. And don't get in a flap. You're in safe hands, though I have none. For I'm a thinking cap." While the hat was singing, Naruto was thinking, seriously, the talking hat. A hat sorts students into the houses. Wow. At the end of the song, all students erupted into applause. Professor McGonagall now stepped forward holding a long roll of parchment. "When I call your name, you will put on the hat and sit on the stool to be sorted," she said and began counting names, and one by one, first years went and tried on the hat. Abbott, Hannah. Hufflepuff. Bones, Susan. Hufflepuff. Boot, Terry. Ravenclaw. After each student was assigned to a house, a storm of applause rose from the corresponding table. Brocklehurst, Mandy. Ravenclaw. Brown, Lavender. Gryffindor. Bulstrode, Millicent. Slytherin. Crabbe, Vincent. Slytherin. Dark, Belinda. "Good luck," Naruto said to her. Bella nodded as she stood up from her seat. Naruto noticed Dumbledore carefully looking at her. Bella sat down on the stool for almost a minute before the sorting hat shouted, "Slytherin." She then sat down at the Slytherin table. Finch Fletchley, Justin. Hufflepuff. Finnegan, Seamus. A sandy-haired boy was sat on the stool for almost a minute before the sorting hat announced Gryffindor. Boyle, Gregory. Slytherin. Granger, Hermione. Hermione almost ran to the stool and jammed the hat eagerly on her head. "Gryffindor," shouted the hat. Ron groaned. Longbottom, Neville. Neville fell over on his way to the stool. The hat took a long time to decide with Neville. When it finally shouted, "Gryffindor," Neville ran off still wearing it and had to jog back amid gales of laughter to give it to McDougal, Morag. Ravenclaw. Malfoy, Draco. Draco sauntered up to the stool, looking very calm and self-assured. No sooner had it come within an inch of his head than the sorting hat screamed, "Slytherin." Draco strutted off to join Crabbe and Goyle, a wide grin on his face. There weren't many people left now. After Draco, Moon, Lily. Became Hufflepuff, Parkinson, Pansy. Became a Slytherin, Paddle, Padma. And Paddle, Parvati. Became a Ravenclaw and a Gryffindor, and Perks, Sally Ann. Became a Hufflepuff. Otter, Harry. Immediately, whispering filled the hall as Harry stepped up to the sorting hat. He took his place, and the noise ceased suddenly. Everything was silent while the sorting hat made its choice. At one point, Naruto thought he saw Harry muttering, his eyes shut tight, but the next second the hat had shouted, "Gryffindor." Harry's face broke into a wide grin, just as Gryffindor table burst into the loudest applause yet. Everyone stood up to shake Harry's hand, while the Weasley twins yelled, "We got Potter. We got Potter." Harry sat down opposite the ghost. Only 5 were left. Thomas, Dean. Became a Gryffindor. Turpin, Lisa. Was pronounced a Ravenclaw, and then it was the turn of Naruto. Yuzumaki, Naruto. As Naruto stepped forward, whispers suddenly broke all over the hall. "Yuzumaki, did she say? Is he the son of Kushina Yuzumaki and Minato Namikaze?" Naruto looked over to the right at the Slytherin table and noticed a shocked expression on Draco's face. Then he turned his head towards teacher's table. He saw the eyes of Albus Dumbledore, they twinkled as they focused on him. He also noted Snape's eyes held curiosity, but it was only a faint glimmer. Turning his back on the teacher's table, Naruto picked up the hat and took his place on the stool. Then he put the hat on his head. "Place." Inside of Naruto's mindscape. The place was endless void of space that stretches on forever. It had filled with fragments of broken mirrors. They were different size and shape and their numbers was seemed to be infinite. The place was Naruto's mindscape and the mirrors were his memory fragments. I've never seen a complex mind like this, the Sorting Hat said while floating in the void. Thank you, a voice said from behind it. It was Naruto standing on one of the mirrors. He was in a white shirt, black pant and black shoes with large hooded black cloak wrapped around his body. On his back he was proudly showing the symbol of Yuzumaki clan. Now, this is strange. You're not supposed to be here, the hat said. And why is that? After all, it is my mind, Naruto said. He levitated himself toward Sorting the Hat. Very well, the hat said. You're young, but your control over your mind is impressive. Very few wizards can do that. Thank you, but someone did help me for that, Naruto said. Anyway, which is my house? It is very difficult. You possess many of the qualities Slytherin. Cunning, determination, a strong desire for success. Intelligence and wit enough for a Ravenclaw. However, there is also bravery and loyalty and a strong sense of morality in your heart. You are a hard worker and you've quite patience. It is very difficult to sort you in the house. Then I've a solution, Naruto said. Place. Outside of the Naruto's mindscape in the Hogwarts hall. There was only a minute passed in the outside world. All students and teachers were waiting for the Sorting Hat's decision. Suddenly, the hat declared the house name. There was only few seconds passed in the outside world. All students and teachers were waiting for the Sorting Hat's decision. Suddenly, the hat declared the house name. Slytherin. The entire Slytherin table burst into applause and shouts of triumph. Naruto took off the hat and walked towards the Slytherin table. They started to congratulate him for being in their house as he took the seat between Draco and Bella. Draco clapped a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto, why didn't you tell me you're the son of Kushina Yuzumaki and Minato Namikaze? He asked. Well, because you didn't ask me, Naruto said. Now, we can show the Gryffindor their place, one senior Slytherin said, because we have someone who is more famous than their Harry Potter. Is Naruto really famous? Bella asked. Yes, he is, Draco said. Naruto is not only the son of Kushina Yuzumaki and Minato Namikaze, but also. When Draco was telling Bella about Naruto at Slytherin table. Weasley twins were explaining same thing to Harry and Hermione at Gryffindor table. Like the other members of the Weasley family, they had sports flaming red hair and freckles. He is the heir of the Yuzumaki Enterprises, Fred said. The company who work in both magical and muggle world, his twin brother George said. The Yuzumaki Enterprises controls the majority of trading business in the wizarding world, Fred said. George said, he is. Multi-billionaire, his brother Fred completed his sentence. Wow. Hermione said. Sadly, he is now Slytherin, Percy Weasley said. He was older brother of Ron, George and Fred and was both a prefect of Gryffindor and head boy. Hey. It is Ron's turn. Fred shouted. Weasley, Ronald. It was the turn of the Ron, who had turned a delicate shade of green. He needn't have worried, though the hat immediately yelled, Gryffindor. Ron took his seat next to Harry. Well done, Ron, excellent, Percy said to his brother. Finally, Zabini, Blaze, was made a Slytherin and the sorting was over. Professor McGonagall rolled up her scroll and took the Sorting Hat away. Albus Dumbledore had gotten to his feet. He was beaming at the students, his arms opened wide, as if nothing could have pleased him more than to see them all there. Welcome, he said. Welcome to a new year at Hogwarts. Before we begin our banquet, I would like to say a few words. And here they are. Nitwit. Blubber. Oddment. Tweak. Thank you. He sat back down. Everybody clapped and cheered. The golden dishes before them were suddenly filled with a rich variety of food. What does Nitwit Blubber Oddment Tweak mean? Bella asked. It's just meaningless noise if you ask me, Draco said while putting some sausages onto his plate. Always look underneath, Naruto said as he piled food onto his plate. Both Bella and Draco turned towards him. What do you mean? Draco asked. Well, each of the words represents the negative aspects of the four houses. It says what they think about other houses, Naruto said as he took a bit of a roast potato. Nitwit is for Ravenclaw, Blubber is for Gryffindor, Oddment is for Slytherin, and Tweak is for Hufflepuff. Most of Slytherin's students were now looking at him from their meal, or maybe they are just random words for fun. As everyone went back to eating. I want to say that again, you have weird philosophy, Bella said, putting some food onto her plate. But that makes me special, Naruto said, smiling. Bella shook her head and began to eat her food. So you are in Yuzumaki? A voice asked in a hoarse whisper, making Naruto look up from his plate. He saw a ghost sitting opposite him. He was very pale, pearly white and slightly transparent. He had wide, staring, black eyes and a gaunt face. He dressed in robes covered in silver bloodstains and carrying chains. Yes, Naruto answered without showing any fear. And you are? Baron, the ghost of your house, the ghost said. Well, nice to meet you, Naruto said before returning back to his food. You're brave, Baron said, just like your clan. You know about my clan? Naruto asked as he looked at him. Yes. I had fought with some Yuzumaki when I was alive. They were formidable opponent, Baron said. So tell me, which branch are you from? I'm the son of clan head, Naruto said. Then you must be a royal blood, Baron said. What is special about them? Bella asked. In my time, they were an extraordinary wizards and witches. Their spells were always stronger than any other witches and wizards, Baron said. And they had a special power. A special power? Draco looked at him questioningly. Naruto bit his thumb and showed it to them. They watched as the wound on his thumb had completely closed up as if it was never there. Advanced healing factor, he said. We can even grow back our lost limbs or any other body parts without any help from healing magic. It is still there, nice, Baron said, looking at Naruto closely. But if you're from royal family then you've more than just that. After saying that, he'd gone. It's the first time bloody barons talked civilly to someone, one Slytherin said to Naruto, who had gone back to his meal. When everyone had eaten as much as they could, the remains of the food faded from the plates, leaving them sparkling clean as before. A moment later the desserts appeared. Blocks of ice cream in every flavor you could think of, apple pies, treacle tarts, chocolate eclairs and jam donuts, trifle, strawberries, jello, rice pudding, etc. Naruto, what's your Quidditch team? Draco asked and they began to talk about the most popular game among wizards. A half hour later, the desserts too disappeared and Professor Dumbledore got to his feet again. The hall fell silent. Just a few more words now that we are all fed and watered. I have a few start of term notices to give you. First years should note that the forest on the grounds is forbidden to all pupils. And a few of our older students would do well to remember that as well. Dumbledore's twinkling eyes flashed in the direction of the Weasley twins. I have also been asked by Mr. Filch, the caretaker, to remind you all that no magic should be used between classes in the corridors. Quidditch trials will be held in the second week of the term. Anyone interested in playing for their house team should contact Madam Hooch. And finally, I must tell you that this year, the third floor corridor on the right-hand side is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to die a very painful death. He's not serious, is he? Bella muttered into Naruto's ear. I'm not sure, Naruto said. Maybe, he is not joking. And now, before we go to bed, let us sing the school song. Dumbledore cried as he gave his wand a little flick, as if he was trying to get a fly off the end, and a long golden ribbon flew out of it, which rose high above the tables and twisted itself, snake-like, into words. Seriously, is every great wizard weird? Naruto thought. Grandpa Saratobi is a pervert. Tsunade is a gambler and alcoholic and now Dumbledore. Everyone picks their favorite tune, Dumbledore said, and off we go. And the school bellowed. Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy-Warty Hogwarts. Teach us something please. Whether we be old and bald. Or young with scabby knees. Our heads could do with filling. But some interesting stuff. For now they're bare and full of air. Dead flies and bits of fluff. So teach us things worth knowing. Bring back what we forgot. Just do your best, we'll do the rest. And learn until our brains all rot. Everybody finished the song at different times. At last, only the Weasley twins were left singing along to a very slow funeral march. Dumbledore conducted their last few lines with his wand and when they had finished, he was one of those who clapped loudest. Ah, music, he said, wiping his eyes. A magic beyond all we do here. And now, bedtime. Off you trot. Slytherin first years, follow me. A tall boy called, who was obviously a Slytherin prefect. The Slytherin first years followed the prefect all the way to entrance of the Slytherin common room that located behind a stone wall in the dungeons of Hogwarts Castle. Through this door is the Slytherin common room where you will be spending much of your life during your time at Hogwarts. To enter, all you need to do is speak the password, which changes every fortnight, and the door will swing open and let you in. Don't give the password to anyone who isn't in Slytherin. We wouldn't want anyone else snooping around our common room. The current password is Sanctimonia, so don't forget it. You'll need to find your dormitories, although your belongings have already been taken there, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, that's about it, and congratulations on making it into Slytherin. The prefect explained. He said the password and the first years followed after him inside. The common room was a fairly dark room and the cold stone plastered with dim green lamps. It extended partway under the lake, giving the light in the room a green tinge. The room had lots of low-backed black and dark green button-tufted leather sofas, skulls, and dark wood cupboards. They were all very grand and expensive looking. Naruto, let's find our rooms, Draco said. He was with his cronies and another first-year Slytherin Blaze Zabini, who was a tall, dark-skinned young man with high cheekbones and long, slanting eyes. Sure, Naruto said. After saying goodbye to Bella, he went with them. They had walked up a small flight of stairs and had found their respective rooms except Naruto. He searched his room until he found it. It was not too big or too small. It had everything he needs. A nice bed, a desk, a wardrobe, a bookshelf and a bathroom. Naruto saw his trunk stood next to his new bed and Nagi's glass tank on the table. After entering his room, he took his wand out from his magical waist bag. He flicked his wand at Nagi, releasing him from his glass cage. With another flick of his wand, he opened his trunk and placed his clothes properly inside the wardrobe. "So, vad nav, master?" Nagi asked. Naruto didn't answer him. He pulled out a paintbrush and ink bottle from his magical bag. He put the brush in the ink and started to write various symbols on the wall near the door. "Vad are you doing, master?" "Nagi, I'm writing runes," Naruto said in English because he knew Nagi can't understand it. "Why?" "Because I like privacy." After writing down runes on the wall, Naruto placed a paintbrush and ink bottle back to his bag and took his wand in his hand. Placing tip of wand on the rune marking, he said, "Kin." As the rune markings on the wall lit up with bright light and spread over other walls in the room. A few minutes later, everything went back to normal. Rune marking on walls had disappeared, leaving them clean as before. "That thing you can do?" Nagi asked. "They are mixture of soundproof runes, anti-thief runes," Naruto said as he explained the runes to him. He moved to his wardrobe to pull out some fresh pajama. He sat down on his new bed before placing his magical charm bag beside him. "Karasu-chan, you can come out now," Naruto said as familiar black bird came out from his shadow and sat down on his left shoulder. "Have you found the book?" "Yes. Master," Karasu said as she summoned a large brown leather book. It rose into the air front of him. The title of the book was in Japanese. It translated in English. The Book of the Amazing Magical Creatures by the Yuzumaki clan. Naruto had opened the book and was searching particular information. "So I was right," he said, after reading certain information. "That, master," Nagi said. He had climbed on the bed and was looking over his shoulder to the book. On the page was picture of a large white snake hissing and striking of a very stressed out snake. It had a red diamond in the middle of his head. He also had 4 horn-like protrusions on his head. "This look like me," Nagi said. "Because it is from your species. The legendary white snake," Naruto said. He began to read information about the white snake. The white snakes are a symbol of rebirth because of their shedding skin. They are originally from China. They can grow up to 160 feet in length. They have large yellow eyes. Their scales aren't just white. They are more mother of pearl in coloring. Their sharp fangs are full of most deadly powerful venom, powerful enough to kill a human in a few seconds. Most noticeable trait of white snakes is a red diamond in the middle of their head. It's said that the diamond has power to heal anything, even most deadly venom and injuries. White snakes are highly powerful magical creature. They can generate powerful magical electricity and can change their own size. Their scales can deflect spells cast upon them and has power to turn themselves invisible. They are highly intelligent giant serpent and can live a natural life more than 10,000 years. They are true king of serpents. There have been no recorded sightings of white snake in world after the 10th century. If Nagi's species were from China, then how is he in England? Karasu asked. "I've no clue," Naruto said, shutting the book. He looked at Nagi. "You need to learn how to control your power." He fell back into the bed. "Good night." "Good night." "Good night, master." Karasu disappeared into the shadow while Nagi went under the bed to sleep. "There, look." "Where?" "He is tall blonde kid." "So he is Yuzumaki Naruto?" "Yes, he is." Whispers followed Naruto from the moment he left Slytherin common room. People lining up outside classrooms stood on tiptoe to get a look at him or doubled back to pass him in the corridors again, staring. Look on the bright side, Naruto. At least they are not fangirls or fanboys, Naruto thought himself. He shivered at last part. Then he remembered Pansy Parkinson. Pansy was first year like him and was a big fan of both of his parents. The girl was a nightmare. He didn't even know her for a full 2 hours and she had already asked him many questions about his parents. "We'll tell her that I don't know much about my parents. I've met my parents only one time in my life and that time I was a newborn," he thought while he was walking with Bella. They headed to their next class. Finding a classroom in the Hogwarts wasn't their first day of their class. They had found out that the Hogwarts was actually like one giant maze with constantly changing staircases and stuff that was either invisible or a false representation of what was supposed to be there. Some wall you could walk through to a different part of the school. There were doors that were actually fake and if you touched it. It was also very hard to remember where anything was because it all seemed to move around a lot. Next time, I'll put tracking rune in the class, Naruto thought. About their classes, they had to study the night skies through their telescopes every Tuesday at midnight and learn the names of different stars and the movements of the planets. 3 times a week they went out to the greenhouses behind the castle to study herbology with a dumpy little witch called Professor Sprout, where they learned how to take care of all the magical plants and fungi and found out what they were used for. Then there was history of magic, which was the only one taught by a ghost. Professor Binns had been very old indeed when he had fallen asleep in front of the staff room fire and got up next morning to teach, leaving his body behind him. He taught them about numerous historical personalities such as Uric the Oddball and Emeric the Evil. Professor Flitwick, the charms teacher, was a tiny little wizard who had to stand on a pile of books to see over his desk. He was also head of Ravenclaw House. Then there was Transfiguration class. Professor McGonagall was their teacher. She was head of Gryffindor House and deputy headmistress of Hogwarts. She wasn't a teacher to cross. She was very strict and took nothing from students. The instant the Slytherin sat down, McGonagall burst into a speech. Transfiguration is some of the most complex and dangerous magic you will learn at Hogwarts, she said. Anyone messing around in my class will leave and not come back. You have been warned. Out of nowhere McGonagall pulled her wand out. She changed her desk into a horse and back again. After taking a lot of complicated notes, they were each given a match and started trying to turn it into a needle. No one had any luck except Naruto, who had turned match into needle in his first try. After seeing this, Professor McGonagall gave Naruto a rare smile. "Well, Mr. Yuzumaki, I must say, you have great talent in the transfiguration," she said. "Thank you," Naruto said, "but I've natural talent in controlling my magic. And every magic needs good control." "Yes, that's true," Professor McGonagall said. 5 points for Slytherin for your remarkable skill and answer. The rest of the class was spent continued to practice on the needles. By the time class ended, about 5 kids had made any difference on their needles. The class everyone had really been looking forward to was Defense Against the Dark Arts, but Quirrell's lessons turned out to be a bit of a joke. He had a horrible stutter that was so annoying. Not one Slytherin had refrained from making fun of him. His room always smelled like garlic and it was really strong around his turban. Naruto felt something suspicious about him. Friday came up quickly and Naruto could be found in the Great Hall in between Pansy and Bella. Naruto was reading a book as Draco, Blaze, Crabbe and Goyle sat down across from Naruto. "Naruto, aren't you hungry?" Bella asked, pointing toasts in his plate. "Sorry," Naruto said, looking up from his book. "But this book is interesting." He took his wand out and tapped twice on his plate. A knife lifted in the air and began to spread butter on toast. "Seriously, Naruto, how can you use magic so easily?" Draco asked Naruto. The same question other wanted to ask Naruto. In Japan, noble families and some old clan teaches their children to control magic from age 6, Naruto said, lifting one buttered toast and took a small bite. He chewed it slowly. "But what about wand?" Pansy asked. "How do they teach children without wand?" "We use as practice as wand. They are not suitable for high-class spells, but for simple spells like this and teaching basics, they are useful," Naruto said as he finished his toast. "Anyway, what have we got today?" "Double potions with the Gryffindor," Blaze said. "Well, this will be fun, the Gryffindor's first taste of Snape," Draco said, smirking. All the kids around them grimaced and both Bella and Naruto sighed. Slytherins and their rivalry with Gryffindors, Naruto thought. Potions lessons took place down in the dungeons. Naruto sat with Bella, Blaze and Pansy, while Draco sat near Crabbe and Goyle. The door slammed open and Severus Snape stormed in. He walked down the aisle between the tables, looking at no one. His black robes billowed behind him. When he reached his desk, he turned and stared coldly at all the students. Snape started the class by taking the roll call, and he paused at Harry's name. "Ah, yes," he said softly, "Harry Potter. Our new celebrity." Draco, Crabbe and Goyle sniggered behind their hands. Snape finished calling the names and looked up at the class. "Look like Professor Snape doesn't like Harry," Naruto thought. "You are here to learn the subtle science and exact art of potion making," Snape said in barely more than a whisper, but all students caught his every word. "As there is little foolish wand waving here, many of you will hardly believe this is magic. I don't expect you will really understand the beauty of the softly simmering cauldron with its shimmering fumes, the delicate power of liquids that creep through human veins, bewitching the mind, ensnaring the senses. I can teach you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even stopper death if you aren't as big a bunch of dunderheads as I usually have to teach." A moment of silence followed after little speech. Naruto raised his eyebrow. "Potter?" Snape said suddenly. "What would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood?" Harry glanced at Ron, who looked as stumped as he was. Hermione's hand had shot into the air. "I don't know, sir," Harry said. Snape's lips curled into a sneer. Tut, fame clearly isn't everything," he said. He ignored Hermione's hand. "Let's try again. Potter, where would you look if I told you to find me a bezier?" Hermione stretched her hand as high into the air as it would go without her leaving her seat, but Harry didn't have the faintest idea what a bezer was. "I don't know, sir." "Thought you wouldn't open a book before coming, eh, Potter?" Ignoring Hermione's quivering hand, Snape asked, "What is the difference, Potter, between Monkshood and Wolfsbane?" This time Naruto had decided to answer his question. He raised his hand while Hermione's hand was still up. "I don't know," said Harry quietly. "I think Naruto and Hermione do, though, why don't ask them?" A few people laughed. Snape narrowed his eyes at him before looking at Naruto. "Mr. Yuzumaki, please answer the question," he said. Naruto stood up from his seat. "Monkshood and Wolfsbane, they are the same plant, which also goes by the name of aconite. Aconite is most commonly known as an ingredient of Wolfsbane potion. It is highly toxic, although they are used in medicine as a pain reliever, diuretic, heart sedative, and to induce sweating," he said. "About asphodel and wormwood, they make a sleeping potion so powerful it is known as the draught of living death. And a bezer is a stone taken from the stomach of a goat that acts as an antidote to most poisons. This is the reason why bezers are used in the preparation of the antidote to common poisons." "You may sit now," Snape said. A cruel smile crossed his lips. "Obviously some people can live up to their reputation. 10 points to Slytherins. Copy down everything that Mr. Yuzumaki said." There was a sudden rummaging for quills and parchment. "Over the noise," Snape said, "and a point will be taken from Gryffindor House for your cheek, Potter." The rest of the lesson was more torture for the Gryffindors as it continued. Snape put them all into pairs and set them to mixing up a simple potion to cure boils. Naruto paired with Blaze while Bella paired with Pansy. As for Draco, he was with Crabbe while Goyle was with some other first-year Slytherins. Naruto went to the ingredients cabinet and grabbed everything he needed. He walked back to his table and put the ingredients down and looked at Blaze. "We are going to do it in my way," he said. They carefully started to mix the ingredients for the potion in the cauldron: dried nettles, crushed snake fangs and other ingredients which weren't in the recipe. They added 4 horned slugs too in the mixture. After taking the cauldron off the fire, they added the porcupine quills. Then after stirring the potion 5 times in clockwise, Naruto waved wand to complete the potion. There was pink smoke rising from the cauldron. It meant potion was successful. Snape walked up to their cauldron as a look of interest crossed his face. "Good job, another 10 points to Slytherin for making successful potion in time," he said. He was pleased by the result. Suddenly, there was an explosion, then clouds of acid green smoke and a loud hissing filled the dungeon. Neville had somehow managed to turn Seamus's cauldron into a twisted blob and their potion was seeping across the stone floor, burning holes in people's shoes. Within seconds, the whole class was standing on their stools while Neville, who had been drenched in the potion when the cauldron collapsed, moaned in pain as angry red boils sprang up all over his arms and legs. "Idiot boy." Snape snarled, clearing the spilled potion away with one wave of his wand. "I suppose you added the porcupine quills before taking the cauldron off the fire." Neville whimpered as boils started to pop up all over his nose. "Take him up to the hospital wing," Snape spat at Seamus. Then he rounded on Harry and Ron, who had been working next to Neville. "You Potter, why didn't you tell him not to add the quills? Thought he'd make you look good if he got it wrong, did you? That's another point you've lost for Gryffindor." It's official that Snape hates Gryffindors, but not more than Harry Potter, Naruto thought. By the end of the class, Slytherin had earned more than 30 points, while Gryffindor had lost more than 30. Naruto had stood up his feet to walk out from the classroom when Snape called him. "Mr. Yuzumaki." He called, "Wait for a minute. I want to talk with you." Naruto nodded as his friend said goodbye to him and left. After everyone left the classroom, Snape said, pointing at potion that Naruto made, "It's not regular recipe to make boil cure." "Yes, it's not," Naruto said. "It's my godmother's personal recipe. She taught me it when I was 9 years old." Snape had impressed by this. "Are you interested in advanced potion?" he asked. Naruto nodded. "If you want I can teach you some advanced potion." "Really?" "Yes. Meet me here this Sunday." "Thank you," Naruto said, giving him a short polite bow before he left the classroom. Outside of the classroom, he saw Bella waiting for him. "Bella," he asked, "what are you doing here?" "Waiting for you," Bella said, walking towards him. "So what did Professor Snape talk with you?" "Nothing special," Naruto said. As they began walk towards Slytherin common room. "Naruto, can you teach me?" she asked with slight hesitation in her voice. They were still walking. "Sure," Naruto answered, happily. "Thanks," Bella said, smiling. "So what are you doing today?" "Are you asking me on a date?" Naruto said. "Well, I'm not asking you on a date," Bella shouted with red face. "Just Hagrid has asked me for a cup of tea. Do you like to come with me?" "Well, this is a unique way asking someone date," Naruto said. "But sure, why not?" "It's not date," Bella shouted again, but Naruto had ignored her again. Is he doing this on purpose or he is just like that? She thought. At sharp 3, both Naruto and Bella had left the castle. They dressed in their normal cloths. Bella wore a simple dark purple blouse with a black pant, while Naruto dressed in black jeans and white t-shirt with black-gray hooded varsity jacket. They walked towards Hagrid's hut. It was a small wooden cabin located outside of Hogwarts Castle, on the edge of the Forbidden Forest. A crossbow and a pair of galoshes were outside the front door. Bella knocked the door. A few seconds later, Hagrid opened the door. "Welcome Bella," he said. He saw Naruto. "Who is your friend?" "This is Naruto Yuzumaki," Bella said. "They are the famous Naruto," Hagrid said. "Es nice to meet yer." When they went inside his home, they saw two familiar faces, Harry Potter and Ron Weasley. Ron stood up on his feet. "You?" he yelled, pointing at them. "Me?" Naruto said, smirking, pointing his right thumb towards himself. "Yes," Ron said. He hurriedly turned to Hagrid. "What are Slytherins doing here?" "Well, I haven't seen no entry for Slytherins board on the door," Naruto said as Ron's ears turned red. Hagrid decided to answer his question. "I've invited Bella for a cup of tea and Naruto is with her." "But they are Slytherins." Ron cried again. "What's wrong with that?" Bella asked, frustrated. This red-headed boy was getting on her nerves. "There is nothing good about Slytherins, they are rude and annoying," Ron said. "Really?" Naruto said, "then what about Merlin? He was in Slytherin." About at Ron opened his mouth, ready to deliver an answer, but he didn't have any word to say on that. "Not all Slytherins are bad people," Naruto said, "unless you happen to get on their bad side for some reason." Ron sat down on his seat after murmuring something under his breath while both Naruto and Bella sat next to Harry. "Bella, what is Slytherin house like?" Hagrid asked sheepishly. He was pouring boiling water into a large teapot and putting rock cakes onto a plate. Bella was surprised by the question and stared at Hagrid. "What do you mean?" "Bessie is and Naruto, everyone else in here is in Gryffindor. Back when I was in school I was Gryffindor also, so I want to know about Slytherins." Bella sat there thinking for a second. "Well, they are not bad. They are always striving to be the best. Most of members are not afraid to admit it, as one of the Slytherin traits is ambition and greatness," she said. "Anyway, most of them are unbelievably arrogant and very biased. They like to talk about Muggle-born and how they are less than them. It is all quite annoying." While she was telling Hagrid about Slytherin House, Naruto was reading a book he had pulled out from his charmed bag. A few minutes later, Bella finished her talking. Hagrid offered them rock cakes, with shapeless lumps with raisins, and tea. While Naruto politely refused cakes, saying he doesn't like to eat sweet in evening, Bella said she isn't dieting and declined cake's offer. But they took teacups. As for Harry and Ron, they ate cakes that almost broke their teeth, but they pretended to be enjoying them. They told Hagrid all about their first lessons. Bella also told him her experience in the school. In the meantime, Naruto had pulled out his book again and was reading it. Harry told Hagrid about Snape's lesson. Hagrid, like Ron, told Harry not to worry about it, that Snape liked hardly any of the students. "But he seemed to really hate me," Harry said. "Maybe because he hates your parents," Naruto said, suddenly, without looking from his book. He flipped a page and took a sip of tea. "Or he hates your father." "What do you mean?" "I mean, maybe your father had done something with him in past," Naruto said. "And according to many people, you look just like your father. Maybe, that's why he dislikes you." "My father was good person," Harry said with some anger in his voice. "I'm not saying your father was bad," Naruto said, closing his book as he looked at Harry. "Time changes people, Harry. Maybe your father was different person when he was in the Hogwarts." There was tension between Naruto and Harry for a few minutes before Hagrid broke it. "Well, Harry," he said, nervously. "Your father was good man, but he had a bad habit of hexing students for no other reason and because he could, especially Professor Snape." Shock clearly visible on both Harry and Ron's faces, but later years, he had changed, he was no longer the bully thought he once was. "What?" Ron shouted finally. "Not all Gryffindors are good, and not all Slytherins evil, Ron. The houses are not all about stereotypes," Naruto said as everyone looked at him. "Everyone makes their own choices and decide what kind of people they'll be, not some old sorting hat." He turned to Bella. "Bella, let's go." He stood up on his feet and looked at Hagrid. "Thanks for tea, Hagrid." "Thank you," Bella said to Hagrid, standing from her seat. "You're welcome," Hagrid replied. Before leaving Hagrid's hut, Naruto said to Karasu telepathically, "Keep your eyes on Harry Potter." "Yes, master," Karasu replied. Then he and Bella left Hagrid's home and walked back to the castle. What if Naruto Pureblood Wizard Council bashing end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.